We're live. Oh boy. Well, sorry for the delay. At least it wasn't as bad as the last time. Doing better. Um. Okay, for today's edition, there are some new things, some bug fixes. Everything's not perfect. That's the way life is. Um. There are some known issues. Um. We'll go over them when we hit them. The new things that are in this particular release. Uh, is mostly fixes, but depends on how you look at it, may be considered new. One of the main changes was uh, the way the game handles spheres, like planets and when it was represented and that kind of thing. The tops and the bottoms would always be black, and it was a cosmetic thing, so I just never quite bothered to get to it. But as we're trying to get to a more release state, um, such little things need to be dealt with. So one of the main things with that was I found out that it was a divided by zero error, even though it would have divided by zero errors in other places, but that was okay. But in this case, evidently it wasn't. So whatever. Um, so think of it this way, if you really care. Um, if you think of zero being the equator, and then as you know, as you go up the longitude, if you will, or towards the top of the poles, it gets to 90 degrees. Well, at 90, you have a y of 1, but an x of 0. And y divided by x, there you go with a division by 0 error. So there you go. So that was corrected. The other main correction is a actual seam of down the side of a sphere, and that's because of wraparound. So if you think of a 360 circle, you go, you know, from 0 all the way out to 360. Well, 360 immediately wraps around back around to 0. So if the previous triangle point was, like, say, 350, and then you go to 360, it goes, oh, you meant to go from 350 all the way back to 0, didn't you? So it goes exactly backwards for that last little triangle. So it looks like a distortion down the side of the sphere. That has been removed by adding excess points going, no, we really mean 360. And it's a kludge. It's not a kludge, it's actually the way we can solve it, actually. Um, Stuff like that. Now, the other major thing that got changed was the surface of the terrain. As you probably noticed before, you could easily see where the larger triangles were and how the height maps would differ. And so you end up with going kind of nice, and then also there's a giant cliff, if you know what I mean. That has been changed. We now are using kind of a tile makeup. It's still underlying in the background, and you can probably still see remnants of it. There's still somewhat of a sewing issue, which you'll see in the main game, uh, and but that will be rectified later, and we can actually go over what's going on with that when we're actually in the game. Some of the major crashes that came up last time have been fixed. Not all the problems have been fixed as far as the networking code, but we're going to see how this transpires out. Um, Mostly I'm talking so much because I realize that some of you are still downloading the update. If everybody's ready, we can actually try to go for it.
Ready.
Alright, well, then I will shut up.
I don't speak for everyone.
Does everybody have a copy?
I believe so. It was only 77 megabytes, is that correct?
That's just the update. And
Okay.
probably not, depending on the last time you updated it. When was the last time you did an update, Paul?
I just did one.
Alright, then it's about as news you're going to get.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yep. So, I will execute it. And
As an example to the others.
To this, and let's see what we get.
Also, yes, for Arthur and those watching, I do have the chat open once again. I can see it.
Excellent. Better than
My
I am.
iPad is mostly charged.
Alright, it should be version 8.9.1924. We're getting into last century with all the commits. Alright. So let's see. Server is up, and so let's see one of the interesting things. Let's see what you get. Now, this came up a few times. Matt, did you get that one fix in with the scenarios?
Yes, it did. Tested
All right.
it. It works.
So hopefully, as people join, maybe we won't see it on my screen, but we'll see it on your own. Remember how when the scenario was selected, you couldn't actually tell which one it was because it was off the bottom of the screen?
I do remember that a little, yeah.
Is it still doing that now? Or is
I
actually
see
this
planetary bot only on the top
excellent? See?
in red.
So that was one of the complaints that people had that, hey, we didn't know which one was selected. Well, now you do.
Interestingly enough, there's what's it? Faint, I don't know, ghost scenario sitting behind the menu. There's Cap V fight versus fighters SC. That is always there no matter how I move the menu.
Okay. I don't know what that's about. Oh, I see what
Yeah,
you're talking about.
probably just, yeah, I see that too. It's probably just got the ghost flag set.
Yeah, I think that's the ghost flag set. Which doesn't, I know that doesn't mean anything to you, but yeah, it's a thing.
Noted, Adam.
Very much so. Oh, here's another little fun thing. You know how we would get to a point where the menu would kind of disappear? You would sit there and you would drag it and it would go wee off the screen?
Yes.
Try to drag it and try to have it go off the screen.
Ah, it came back.
Yes, scary, isn't it?
But not when. Oh, neat. So if I toss it up, it seems to go away forever, but I can pull it back down immediately.
Yeah. So things aren't irretrievable. Is it 100% fixed? No. Is it kludged? Yes. So it's workable versus being impossible. Oh, I see what's happening. Someone is playing with the scenarios. I don't know who it is, but don't.
I'm noticing the third scenario seems to have some text behind it as well.
Yeah,
that's it.
it's set as ghost, and since it's not set as ghost, they won't do that anymore.
Oh, gotcha.
Meaning, each of these lines is considered an object, which is why you can drag it. And one of them is accidentally set as a ghost, which means it won't get affected by things. That's why it stays still, even though everything's going on top of it. Because it's like, I'm not here. Really, I'm not, even though it is. So it's problems like that. It's yeah. But all right. So just for ha-has, everybody, let's be alpha.
Okay.
Oh, which scenario are we doing? Pre-built city is selected currently.
That's a bad idea. So no, we need single. Yeah. So there we go.
Also, hello, Kathleen.
Hello. Kathleen, we got your ship in there. We didn't get your shields in there, but people should. Oh, that's another thing that I forgot to mention. This was the premiere of actually having Kathleen's brand new red ship in the game.
Ooh.
Now the shielding isn't ready for it, but everything else is. Oh, sorry, Jordan. I guess you want to be admiral or mayor rather. Now the ranking thing seems to have been fixed, so thank you, Matt, for doing that. So now we shouldn't have the ability of having more than one Warmaster on the same team and causing weird problems that way.
But can I still delete Ernest?
Yes, you probably still
Try it,
can.
see what happens.
Ernest isn't here.
He will be eventually.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm bringing in the beam ship. Please select your ships, if you would, please.
Beam.
And if you had selected it before the scenario changed it, reselect it again.
So now we have a drop down with only a few options.
Yes, that was always the intention because realistically we should come in with completely nerfed fighters, meaning the fighters shouldn't have any weapons on them whatsoever. That's the idea. You just have something to move around in more than anything else. Because right now there's nothing preventing you from just bum rushing over and kill the enemy builder bot. Yeah, you won. Congratulations. Yeah. So that's also, we're starting closer than we normally would in a real game situation, but right now we're trying to test rather than worrying about true ways of handling things.
Does the rank mean anything yet? I know what it's supposed to mean, but
Other than
Buddy
Warmaster,
entered your
no.
channel.
okay.
Um,
Hello, who just showed up?
It would be Ogre.
Das
It is
Ogre.
Ogre. Live in fear, mortals.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, we actually haven't actually went in yet, Ogre. So if you wish to join us, you're welcome to.
I am loading the game now.
Did you do the update?
Yep, already did.
Excellent. So the Warmaster matters. The other ranks don't matter as much. The other ranks are more for how the AIs think, if you will.
Right.
A mayor is going to handle things like well, the city, whereas admirals handle other things.
Right. One day it will matter.
One day it will matter more, yes. But for players, because they're more diverse, a mayor isn't just going to handle the city. They'll probably have his own fleet anyway. And even the AI was supposed to be able to do that too, so they have a local fleet to help protect the city. To handle those things that are just outside of range kind of situation.
Would it be a fleet the mayor puts together, or would the fleet be given to the mayor by the admiral?
Either. Or even the Warmaster. I mean, generally he'll put his own together, but you can still do it. You can still grant ships to the mayor if you want to. Usually what I want to do is you have a mayor, he'd ask for a builder bot, and then you would assign an escort to him. So as the builder bot slowly trundles across the planet, someone doesn't come flying along and pick off the builder bot. If you know what I mean.
Right.
Doesn't mean someone still can't, it just means it's harder for them to do it.
I'm ready when you guys are.
Alright. I think we're kind of ready. So let's see what happens. Oh, well, everybody's got to mark themselves ready. Includes me. Oh, and Ogre, if you flip the
Menu.
menu, you should be able to get it back. And of course, no, I can't. No, there it is. It's back. All right. So it does actually. We have a workaround. I wouldn't call it a cure. I really had to come up with something better, but it was something I did in the last 20 minutes, just so it wouldn't be quite as bad. All right. So we're going in. Whee! Let's hope that this is actually set right. Yeah, it is. Okay. Still has my settings from last time. Now, if you noticed, the terrain is different. And this is kind of what I was mentioning before, that remember how there would be these wacky cliffs and triangular shapes that look really horrible?
That actually does look pretty good.
Notice that they are gone.
Yeah, I still see gaps in the terrain, but in general, it looks much better.
Also, the horizon doesn't look like complete crap anymore. Meaning it doesn't just kind of go to a weird white thing.
Yeah, big improvement.
The gaps, I know what it is, but it's it's like anything else. You fix one thing and then you find the other thing that I didn't realize that was broken. That's nice. So what's actually happening is the triangles aren't spun correctly. And what I mean by that is this. If it shouldn't affect the game, but if you hit the slash key by the lower right shift, I believe it's the same as the question mark key, you'll see that the terrain itself now has red, green, and blue stripes on it. All right, that is what I refer to as the point reduction, meaning there's code in there so that a higher res triangle will have a reduction in triangles right at the edge. And the problem is they're not spun correctly. So I have two lower res things meeting, which means it's screwing up. So they're not spun correctly. That's what I mean by triangles being spun. The reason why it's red, green, and blue is red's left, green is I believe is right, and blue's bottom. I think. I mean, if you think about an isosceles triangle. So what you should always have is a higher res 1 going down to a lower res 1. The higher res 1 would have a green, red, or blue line through it. While you can't see the triangles reducing the resolution, you can see the gap that's being formed because they're being mismatched. I know the sewing works because I did it before, but yeah, it's problematic. Now what's interesting is while that's like that, the terrain is frozen, which means you can move along the terrain and see what's actually happening versus it moving with you. And I'll turn it off, but yeah. Now, eventually it's going to be updated quicker. Ogre, I have a task for you.
Oh.
Go kill. Not the builder bot, but one of the buildings. If you would, please. Don't kill each other because there's no respawn. The whole idea is we're supposed to be building a city here. So the enemy has already been building a city. And if we leave it go too long, we're going to get overrun, as you might well imagine. Ah, there goes Ogre. Kill, Ogre, kill. And yes, some of the glitches in the terrain calculation is still wonk. That hasn't been fixed, but there's a major milestone to go forward. It does actually support tiling now for the terrain, so that we can start making more interesting formations of hills and such like that, and cliffs and such, that are hand done rather than this parallel noise contraption that I currently have. Which is actually was a question I actually had for aesthetic reasons. You see how the terrain is now, where some of the peaks get really sharp? Do
Yep.
people want more rolling hills, or they would rather have like it more mountainous, or what was the preference?
I mean, whatever is realistic.
Let
Well,
me
I'm
get right
asking
up,
you.
I guess,
Meaning,
by
fly
one of those
down
hills.
towards the surface and see what you get. Meaning, right now we're up pretty high, so you don't really notice how much it's really,
Right now,
really rocky.
from these angles, it does not look natural.
Oh, it shot me back up in the air.
Yeah, that's a equation glitch. Well, Ogre, I saw it blow up. Did everybody else see it blow up?
Yeah, I just saw a building blow
Yeah, I
up.
saw it go up and I heard it too.
All right, excellent. Ogre, there is a reactor building there.
There's a
Let me
turret
get it
here.
targeted. Okay. What I want you to do is not blow it up. I want you to strafe it enough so we can see the damage on it, but on the side towards everybody else. Does that make sense? So on this side, I guess. All right. Now that was hurting it more than I expected.
Like that? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't blow through it.
No, I'm moving.
The
Trying to
terrain has vanished for me.
What's that?
I can no longer see the terrain.
Fly up. You'll see it again until it gets much. So concentrate in one spot so we can see the color and change.
How much up?
Oh, you popped it.
It's hard to tell.
Alright, fair enough. Well, so other people were destroying the other stuff. So, well, the original problem of, hey, we can't destroy their buildings has been solved.
That turret saw me and then started shooting at me. I'm like, uh-oh, well, I have to defend myself.
Well, I guess it had power. It doesn't anymore.
Oh, hey, the boxes are showing up on the terrain.
Yeah, well, the boxes do show... Oh, that's a good question. If we target the boxes, do they actually show up? We were having problems in the testing. Alright, yeah, don't blow it up. No, they're actually showing up. I don't know what... That's a good question. Alright, well, yeah, now it's... I don't know how well it's going to recover from that. Now that has no boxes to deal with. Like I said, we're going to have to probably restart all this because we kind of screwed it over. But I don't think it can complete itself because it's kind of its own little loop going, I don't know what to do now. That's why I want to improve the AI, because it's kind of...
Oh, I mean, you destroyed the thing that was in the middle of the building?
Yeah, it should recognize the fact that the box is no longer there, but it's not recognizing that. Like I said, the AI hasn't been touched in a very long time, and so it needs to be updated. So you might as well kill the last building, then we'll reset the game.
Before we said, I want to practice something. How do we manipulate the builder bot again?
Whee!
I just blew up the builder bot and the building beams continue for a bit
Yeah,
longer.
not, like I said, this is alpha. This is not a completed
Yes.
game.
Nobody
Well, what you
blew
do
up the builder
is
bot?
you
I
highlight
just did.
the builder bot, usually with H, although whether default you have it set to. How's one of you damaged? How'd you get damaged? Oh, you got shot by the turrets.
Yeah, the turret hit me first.
Okay, well, you deserve that, so there you go. Alright.
Yeah.
So,
freeze and
Crash.
really? Alright, we're still all in.
I'm still in.
I'm still in.
Well,
You mean
just
I
come
have
right back
something
in. You
with
should be able to come right back
Jordan?
in.
Oh.
Ugh.
What's up?
I'm sorry.
I said, you mean I have something in common with Jordan? Ugh.
Oh, well, there you go.
You may want to get in contact with people you've been in contact with.
I think I just fell through the ground.
Yeah, The mega triangles are still there, so but they're hidden better. But the terrain, if you notice, doesn't look, you know, really obviously nasty anymore. The spinning of the triangle, I will fix that. That's not. That's gonna be something I'll do. I just ran out of time. Um, but what I want to do is go over ordering the builder bot. So okay, Jordan, you wanted to do this, right? When you get back in,
Yep.
tell me.
I will. I'm just waiting for some screens to load up.
Now, for
And
everybody
connecting.
else, because you fly close to the ground and like kind of level and look at the terrain. Yes, there's gaps. We know about this, but I mean, as far as the way the mountains look, good, bad. Do you like it? Do you like it? Do you like it more pointy? Do you like it more rounded? What's the preference?
Well, okay, so right now we've basically got rolling hills, it looks like.
But they come to points, which is different than the other terrain was. So if you look at closely,
True.
some of the mountains actually do come to a point, which I'm not sure if I like or not.
I mean, if we're going to add more tiles to this, then
Yes.
honestly what we have here now looks like a good start in terms of a baseline for like, okay, we either put a tile there or we don't.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, if we put a tile there, we can exaggerate it. If that produces too jagged an effect, then we could scale back on the pointiness of the baseline terrain.
Okay. But you understand my point.
Yeah.
Until we actually have that discussion of what the tiles should look like, no one knows what they're building.
I'd say it looks fine. The
Okay.
terrain complexity is nice. It just needs the textures on the terrain just need to be a little higher res when you're flying this close. That's all.
Hmm. I guess
Okay, so I am back
The
in.
actual geometry is fine.
Okay.
So the builder bot, I believe this is owned by Paul right now, but it's the
irrelevant.
one that's different than all the rest of us, right?
Yeah, it's a builder bot. It's an AI. It'll take your orders. We're on the same team.
Right. Well, meaning I'm just trying to differentiate which one it is. We're on the beam ships, and it's in the one that's like a quadcopter.
Yeah,
Builder
that
bot
has to be
defaults
rebuilt
to being
anyway because it doesn't have the
quadcopter.
armor right. But we know this.
Okay, so I have selected it.
All right. Hit O. Point your nose at it and hit O. Here, I'll do this on my screen so people can see what that's going to look like.
I get status, stop, destruct, build, close.
All right. Build's the one you want. Go figure.
Okay.
You hit B, and you'll get a menu of different things. Generally, you want to get a reactor up first. Go figure. So hit
And
6.
can I hit this? Okay, so 6. Yep.
And then hit 1.
Ah, then I get to pick. Do I left click to put it down?
No, you move your nose down towards the surface, and you should see a glowy, transparent
Yeah,
version of
I'm
it.
looking at it on the ground. What do I
Then
click
you hit
to
the enter key.
enter?
Oh, there it goes. It's moving. And it's going to take its own sweet time because these things are not fast. They're not meant to be fast.
It is way up in the air.
Well, I was having problems with the terrain originally that people would start underneath the terrain, and so I overestimated the height.
Fair enough.
And so, yeah, it's a thing. It can easily be tweaked. I'll tweak it later. Before I was having ungodly problems, you might well imagine. But as you can see, the results are working. It is fixed. There are more tweaks that need to be done to make it cleanly. The marketer people were actually complaining about some of the looks, and sort of like, well, we're getting there. You know?
Can you have the terrain block the green pointers? The green reference points?
Yes, but I purposely had it not do that, actually. But I understand where you're coming from. You want to know that there's a mountain in front of something.
Right. It's like I want to. It's like, are those points beneath the ground? Because that's what it looks like, and it turns out they are.
Yeah. Oops, I crashed. That was kind of dumb. I hit O and it 8-bit itself on something. My bad. I don't know why that did that. So the server went down. Sorry.
Well, I'll just
Maybe
quit
because
and
you hit
prep.
O while it was still mid build.
I was hitting O actually.
You said you hit O. I'm like, well, thinking back through timing from when you said you crashed, I think it was still in the middle of building when you hit O.
Yeah, the build isn't. I'm just looking at the code here. Terrain. Yeah. All right. So what happened? Oh, that's what happened. Ah, see, I didn't know this. All right, I'll exit out. So Matt, write this down if you would, please. what happened was Jordan was building. The target changed while I still had my build menu up. Not because the menu was up, but because the actual, because I had the glowy version of it, meaning it was like fading in and fading out, worry about the meat for me to give an order. Because it's based on what's targeting and its target changed, it went to null and what the hell.
Oh, because the builderbot's target changed.
Yes, because it went from a virtual building to a real building as I started to build it. But I still have the virtual building on my thing, and we're actually all sharing that. So I was like, okay,
Right.
server's back up, by the way.
Okay.
But that was interesting. And so I was like, okay, well, didn't know that. That's why we do these tests. I didn't know that was a problem.
Got it.
Okay. So that's good, actually. I mean, that could crash, but yeah, server's up, by the way. It's not, it reset. So I actually kind of want to see, and I did test it last time, that the nav screen, I could actually have it build a builder bot, or build a building. So that might work. It's very, very scary in there right now. So
Oh, the RTS screen?
yeah, it's much easier to do it than what you just experienced.
I remember Ernest and I trying to go into the RTS screen.
Yeah, but you weren't in the RTS screen. You were in
Couple-
the factory screen. You were in a bunch of other screens.
No, we also tried the RTS screen at one point, and it's just so hard to figure out what I'm supposed to be looking at or doing.
Yeah, no, it needs a lot of loving. That it's not.
Which is a shame, because I imagine when I play this game full release, I personally probably would spend most of my time in the RTS screen.
Oh, you're right. You're 100%
Because that's
right.
the aspect of this game that interests me most, is the grander city building and empire building rather than the more minute space battles.
No, you're right. The problem is I've been working on the other stuff. We're going to be slowly moving away from once I fix the terrain. We're doing some more special effects, but then the RTS screen is going to need a lot more loving before the crowdfunding happens. So Ogre and Matt, server up.
I'll be in a second.
Okay.
I quit out and then forgot to reload it.
Okay, fair enough. I should probably mark myself as ready.
I think as a light, what's a criticism of the load up, I think I would almost rather the game fully load up everything and then give me the title screen, rather than the way it currently does, where it loads up but not everything's loaded in. Because I found sometimes with like, if I were to go into the server as quick as I possibly can, then when the game restarts, things can be a little funny while it finishes loading in the rest of the background graphics.
There's an option in the text configuration to do exactly that, but you'll
Good.
wait there 26 seconds to get in versus 12.
How would we feel about that being an option that you can set in the config screen?
I think it's a good idea.
I
I'll
think
make a note of that.
I think I'd rather stare at the loading screen for 26 seconds, and then know that it's ready when it's ready, than come in quickly and then stare at the join server screen while I wait for the rest of the background to load in.
Well, everything's still functional. You just can't see it.
Yes, but sometimes especially like when I'm getting back into a game after a crash, sometimes it's a little funny with the graphics if I jump in too quickly. So I try to wait for the rest of the graphics to load up on the menus.
Yeah, I mean, it's a preference. I know for me development, the quicker I can get in and out to test what I'm doing, the better it is for me. Also, obviously, to join the game. Also, like I said, will be twitchy until everything's loaded. Meaning in the sense of that it's a little bit pausy because it's still loading in the graphics and stuff like that. But you're actually in the game. And once you get past that first 20 seconds, once you're in the game, you don't notice it anymore.
Right. No, absolutely.
So just for ha-has for people on the live stream, I'm going to try to move the builder bot via the nav screen, which is probably going to be a very scary thing to do.
Oh,
So there's everybody.
Perhaps a select builder button is not a bad idea.
Yeah, you gotta find it. I mean, like I said, this is in like super. Did I just?
Oh yeah, I know that's not a super high priority compared to functionality. This is just a quality of life thing I want to toss out there.
No, you're 100% right, and we're gonna add it, and
I will
150%
add a
right
note
for a lot of things
specifically
with
about
this.
improved navigation through targeting.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm in the nav screen. I found the builder bot. Which of you guys are the builder bot? And I selected them. The little menu came up. I'm going to click on build. This comes up. I'm going to select on the reactor, and I'm going to just click on reactor building, and then it's the same kind of thing as you would expect. And then I will, I think it's left click. No, it's right click. There it is. And there he goes. And
And we
hopefully
see him on
everybody's
our
seeing he's
end.
going. Is he going
We,
on your
yep,
screen?
we see him.
Okay. And so hopefully he should be doing this thing. Let's see where he is. Let me select him. And you're right, there really should be a find builder bot button. Okay, so here's where he is. And he's still trying to get to the ground, I guess.
Oh yeah, he's almost there.
There he is.
There he is.
And he's doing the reactors I asked him to. But if you look at the live stream, it's a lot easier than the other way around. I'm not debating that. It's literally click, 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 you're done. But the nav screen needs a lot more loving than it currently has. Certain things work very well. Certain things really work really horrendously.
Now he's finished the reactor. Should we
Yes.
see if it's safe for me to try to control him?
Oh, you should be able to control them right now. As anything, I should be able to go into the asset screen and see the fact that I built I have a message saying construction of building thermoelectric react is complete. I should actually have an installation here, which I do, and there it is.
So what do I want next? A mine?
Research center, actually.
Okay, research under 9.
Yep.
And 1. And let's just put that right there.
Yep. And there he goes. Mostly because we want to start researching. Part of the whole thing is I know Adam is curious about people's opinions of how things are going to be researched. So the asset screen should be working okay. And while the messages may not be quite what I'd like them to be, I know that they're not crashy. They're just not 100% right. I mean, that one crash that I had as the server was understandable bug. I didn't even know it was there, which is kind of the point of all this. Okay, now we actually have a research center. Let's actually go through that. So you go into the Omni Ball on the upper right there, and you click on the research button, which is the microscope-looking thing in the upper left. And you get this blue-green screen. And if you notice, Mars still has some normal issues. There's a little bit, but I don't know what. It has to be something ever so slight in the. There's still a slight seam. It's mostly a lighting seam issue, not a texture seam issue. And maybe that's what the issue is. I'll have to look into that. But
Maybe it's my perspective. I think the planet looks just a little bit oblong.
that's because it's the upper left. That's field of view issues. You get that in other games too.
Okay.
If anything, then maybe I should pull the camera back, and so you get that kind of situation. But in any case, you click on Mars, go figure. You click on Upside Down City. We really got to fix that, by the way. And then you see the bottom of the research facility. All right. And if you hold your mouse over, it actually will tell you what to do. It says drag and drop a tech or item on this research center to research it. Any extra selected research centers will also contribute to this research. We only have one, so there you go. So, what I'd like you to do, or Jordan, how about you do it?
Sure. I like doing things.
Yes, we need a refinery.
So I want refineries.
Yes. Now we don't even have a ability to build it, so we need the technology of the refinery first.
Ah.
So yeah, you click on the refinery, and it actually will tell you what it's about. It will say refineries type technology, description, required technology.
Materials, but I see we have materials. I'm assuming the lowercase i's it means 2. We have access to materials 2, so I assume we have materials 1.
Yeah. You can actually scroll the list, and it'll show you everything you have.
I
That's already...
see. The grayed out ones are what I already have. Gotcha.
You got
well,
it.
then I certainly have it.
Yep.
And then provides general refinery, mark nothing.
Yep.
Okay. Remind me, how do I tell it to do?
Well, as the instructions said, you're supposed to drag it onto the refinery itself, or into the research center itself, excuse me.
Okay,
So,
30
there
seconds.
it goes. It's going. Woohoo! See, I can go grab it and go, whee!
Jonathan, 30 seconds sounds like a good time for the very first technology you would research in the game.
Well, I mean, this is the kind of feedback Adam actually wants. Now, stay in the research screen,
kinda
and
what
what
I'm
will
thinking,
happen
actually.
is when that's done, not only will that update saying that, but we will have new things to research. So we got 3 seconds, 2, 1, and boop. So now it removed it from the researchable technologies, but if you notice in the researchable items, there's a general refinery mark. So if you'd be so kind
Yes.
as to research that. There you go.
And yeah, 5 seconds for that sounds pretty good too.
And doink. All right. While we're here, why don't you throw in factories, and then we'll go back out and tell to start building this other stuff.
Okay, am I need to do the factory building as well?
You will, but
Okay,
yeah.
then as a good test of multitasking, you guys should start having the builder bot do stuff while I'm doing this research.
Exactly my point. So I'm back outside. So there's a builder bot sitting there hanging, doing his thing. I'm gonna be a bastard, and I'm gonna do it the easy way from the nav screen. I really gotta do something about this, but there we go. So I'm gonna tell it to build a mine. Yeah.
You know,
And,
it briefly went into negative timer as it was finishing up factories.
well,
So.
the problem is the server. We should probably do something in the system to prevent it displaying negative. That's more of a thing from the screen. So
Okay,
Matt, you
that
might
makes
want to do
sense.
something.
Just
Just to
figured
put it
I'd
at
toss
0.
that at you.
Well, it did
And-
go negative. It didn't go negative on the server. That was a lag issue between the server telling your
so
system to
that's
get
between
updated.
me. So that's between my computer and yours.
Yes, when they got the update, and depending on how quickly Matt's update screen happens, it also does that stuff too. So there's a bunch of things in the middle. So Matt, you want you to say that not allow a negative to show up there?
Yep.
I'm going to go in here and go refinery 1, and I'm going to put it over here. Because why not?
And our
Honestly, like I said,
factories
it's a hell of a
already.
lot easier doing it from the nav screen than it is first person. As you can probably tell. Again, from the live stream, you can kind of really see the difference. Now, off in the background, even on the nav screen here, the other area is being busy as a freaking beaver. So if I sort of go over here, you can see what the enemy's doing. Here, let me zoom out. And his entire city's over there doing this thing. I mean, he's definitely doing the thing.
I'm assuming capacitor is for energy storage, correct?
Yes, and that's on ships.
Ah, gotcha.
That's not on this. Who? Oh, you guys are over here.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Watching
So I was
the
like,
city behave.
hold on, there are other ships over here. He doesn't have a factory yet. What are? Oh, that's what that is. Okay, that's fine. So,
If I had to guess, I'd say he's building the factory now.
that's a good point. I don't actually have something in the nav screen to say who's who. Derp. So I'm over. If I select one of you guys, I can kind of tell,
Probably refinery, actually.
what he's doing. But yeah, he's definitely doing his own thing. All right. So, do you want me to tell the system to?
Do you currently have the builder bot selected?
I do right now. I don't have. It's okay. I'm doing it from the nav screen. It's different.
No, I'm just checking because so as an interesting note, this is probably a good thing. It will not allow me to open the menu with O right now.
Trust me, that's a glitch. You wish it was something that I built in.
Whoops.
Oh, I cannot seem to open it.
You have to do a different angle. Oh, I see they're blowing stuff up at the base back there.
I blew up one turret.
That's my bad. I actually had one of them targeted and I pressed
Up.
E. I forgot
Yep,
that.
okay.
So it blows them up.
Yeah.
I can
did
command it.
All right. When you command it, I'll back out of the screen then.
And so then we need next. We just did factory is what we just researched, right?
Yeah.
E.
So if you can build up a factory, that'd be good. Warehouses aren't necessarily a bad thing, but that's just for storage. Right now, there's no limitations. I should put a maximum limitation on how much a building can store, so the warehouse can store that much more, kind of thing. That would make sense to force people to build, actual
I think I told it to
warehouses.
do it. Maybe I told it to go too close to. doesn't seem to be moving. It seemed to it briefly did the light show and then.
Oh, it's all right. You have a budget,
Ah,
so it's waiting for there to be enough in your budget to actually do it. See, now it's going because it got enough from the refinery to go build the building.
gotcha.
So that's
I
the whole
wasn't sure
thing.
when you said my budget, if you meant my allotted budget as a mayor
Yes.
or our overall budget.
Well, yes. Both actually. So if you go to
Or
the
they didn't
asset
give me enough
screen, we can
allowance.
see how much you actually have.
Let
So
me
if I
check
go
that.
through here,
Which one was assets?
that's the one that looks like a sheet. If you go into the Omniball. So there's Jordan, and you have 177, 182 refined materials. Unlike Adam, for example, is 952. So you spent all your budget on building that building. Congratulations. Now, I should be able to actually change your budget, because, well, actually, Paul can do it because he's the Warmaster.
Yeah, currently I see 700, almost 800 ore and 781 refined materials.
For
For
you?
me. Yeah. Is that different from what the number you're seeing?
Yeah. Alright, we definitely need a sync update for that. Because everybody else is closer to 1,000 at this point, which is probably where you are, or you think you are.
I
But
see
on my
Jordan
screen as the
having-
server, you're at 365, 370
Nope.
something.
I'm seeing 780 for Jordan versus about 1150 for everybody else.
Alright, was it for me? I've been
Okay,
building
wait.
things.
The number may have gone down. Nope. Yep. That's a. I could not tell the 9 from the 3 for a sec. That is. Yeah. It tells me 1,000 or 781 refined materials.
Alright, well, then we have a sync issue, and that's okay. That's what we need, so I guess I got another thing to mark down. I know I don't have a global sync for the assets, and I should. I should probably run that after something's built. Should make sense.
So now, okay. So the how are this is a good question to ask. How are assets assigned to individuals?
Well, you would actually trade them, so I can actually give you the I was the first one to put down the city, so it's my city when a building gets built, even though it used your money. So actually, Matt, can I actually transfer money to him?
Should be able to. Just click on the or the.
Jordan, and then I can actually say how much do I want to give him. I'm going to give him 900. Why not? Oh, there it goes. Did you get it?
I don't see it. I don't see it reflected on my end.
On my end, it says 1690, so you got it on my end.
I'm at 1470. I have a steady rise. Like, I was watching it as you sent it, and it was rising steadily. That didn't change.
Okay.
Did you send or did you send RMs?
I sent RMs.
Yeah, I didn't
That's
see any
at
change there.
781 and has not changed.
Okay, so that's not being sent across the network, so now we know.
But what else?
The server sees it, though.
So, for example, it seems like I'm supposed to have a steady. At least it tells me a steady income of ore. Am I supposed to have that?
Yes and no. What's happening is the steady income is going to be very, very slow because at the same time as the ore is becoming, it's also being refined.
Okay.
So if you have like plus
plus
20 ore and it refines 19 of it at the same time, you only see a +1 net gain of ore. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because two related rates run at the same time.
So yeah, the only one whose refined materials seem to be changing from my perspective is yours, which I see 767 ore and 1847 refined materials.
Okay, so I have 777 ore right now because it's constantly changing, and I have just over 1,000 refined materials right this second because I transferred that much to you in the first place. Everybody else, like Paul, has like 1927.
Okay, yeah, that stuff is all out of sync.
All right, so now we know to sync that. The server knows one thing, people's machines think that's okay. We know that. Like I said, I expected there to be problems, and so there it is. But there's no crashing. That's my biggest thing. It's still out, as I said. All right, here's the thing. We have a factory. We can start building shit.
We can.
We can. So do you want your own personal builder bot? Just because you can.
Sure.
All right, so click on the factory thing in the Omniball. It's the upside down thing, which, Paul, we really got to get that right side back up again.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that still not fixed?
When you're looking at it.
Yeah. All right, factory. Flip that. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. All right, same deal as the research center. You click on Mars, you click on the city, you click on the building, but now you get this big thing that goes across the middle of the screen.
Right.
Now, if you click on the builder bot, which says design SAR, which really should say builder bot, but we'll
I just
fix
heard
that.
something blow up.
I see design dreadnought.
Somebody's
Yeah,
running
yeah,
around
that's
blowing up shit over here.
probably from the AI.
Okay.
So if you
I
click,
see Ship of Doom and Zar.
I see Shippadune and dreadnought.
yeah, I see Ship of Doom, but I don't see Dreadnought.
The
Is that
dreadnought looks like the builder bot.
all right? Huh? I wonder if this is leftover multiplayer stuff that people did. So maybe that's what their people are saying.
That's what I was thinking because
Yeah.
right now it's set to only look at um, player codes that are in your corporation, which may or may not be working with this many people. I didn't test it with that many.
Well, people only had made one design or two. So do these if you click on the design button, which is the piece of paper, and then click on the actual design on the far right, meaning the spinning ship, it should come up in the middle with saying what it is, and you should be able to scroll through that and see what the deal is.
That is a fighter.
I have Ship of Doom. It's a fighter. It's combat value 2254.
Yep.
It only has one gun on it. Well, there's nothing saying we can't build it. So if you want, and you don't want to deal with actually building a design, you can literally click on the factory. So you got the big blue queue there.
Uh-huh.
You can just drag it onto the queue. Just pick it up. And I'll drag it, and I'll put one of these do things here. And I'm paused.
I seem to have crashed.
You
Or
have
in the
crashed.
process of it.
Ah.
I'm finding that the Omniball is very sticky. I'm finding myself jumping from like the sim screen to the multiplayer lobby to
But that's, yeah, because there isn't a lot of space to drag the Omniball that isn't a button.
Mhm.
Alright, I'm just gonna have to force destroy this game.
Well, who actually crashed? I mean, we're all
assuming it's
frozen,
me.
but somebody
I think I
crashed.
just crashed
My game
too.
stopped responding.
All right, now the
Yeah.
server's back.
Alright, so that was me.
Oh, okay, I'm fine actually.
Okay, so now a ship should have been produced. Right? Yes, no, burp? Let's see if it's here. There it is.
Oh, the weapon tick screen looks really nice.
I actually haven't been in there.
Oh, it looks so good.
Be careful, please don't click
I'm
on
not-
too many things
I'm not touching it. I'm
because
just...
a lot of it doesn't work and one or two things will crash.
I'll have to. Ooh, you're right. It does look nice in here.
But figured aesthetically we should take a look at it.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, we're in. That's actually pretty nice. I actually been in here. You've been playing with it, but I haven't seen it yet.
And as I generally do, I'll use whatever the newest backdrops Paul's produced for the prototype so we can
Yeah.
take
Power
a look at
output, blarg! Fuel, blarg! Yeah, this isn't ready yet.
I hate DirectX.
Yeah, something like that. Wowzers. But yeah, no, this is kind of cool, actually. Sweet. I know you're still working on it. This is not complete in any way, shape, or form. But yeah. Yeah, we'll have to talk about how to select different
Oh, that
facets.
was like a lot of enemy ships or buildings over there.
Uh-oh. We left the bee's nest alone for a little bit too long.
No,
I see-
no. It's,
Yeah, I see one ally over there. I assume that's Ogre doing pest control.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably right.
here's the thing,
Population
here's the
control
thing.
hunting.
I've only popped a couple of turrets. I haven't kicked out a ship yet.
That's surprising. All right, I'm gonna go possess the ship I just made. I'm
Yeah,
probably
the enemy
gonna
builder
regret
bot keeps getting stuck.
it. Oops.
At least that's what I'm seeing on my screen.
I can't get
yeah,
out of the weapon
this
bits
thing is
screen.
not set right, but yeah. So I'm flying the ship that I've just produced.
Mm-hmm.
The model is not set right. This is one of Adam's old ones that was never, the cockpit point of view was never set right. But I got a single beam and I'm firing sideways, yay! But it's running. I mean, I'm moving it around. So if you want, one of you can kill me because I'll just jump back to my other ship. Don't kill my host ship. Kill the one I'm moving around in.
I find myself unable to get out of the weapon tick screen and the
Just click in the middle.
of the Omniball.
Yeah.
That just
Should
brings
be an
me.
icon. It should take you out of the whole self-damage screen.
It's not. It's just showing me the splash screen
Okay,
Omniball.
once you go back
went to the splash screen once, every time you exit a screen, it always take you to the splash screen. It's a bug.
So
Right.
once you get back to the splash screen,
Click on sandbox.
click on sandbox.
Okay, I clicked on sandbox, and I'm still looking at the factory weapon tick and so forth.
Then
Try
you gotta
hitting
click on the middle of the
escape.
Omniball. The icon is there. Is there a builder bot left? I'm surprised he's not doing anything else.
I told him to build a turret, and then I accidentally hit Q.
Oh, well, I'll do it. I meant the
I
enemy
wanted
builder
to
bot.
go back to research to make sure we actually could build turrets, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the thing.
like Adam said, it's the bullet bot over here just seems to be sitting here.
Did
oh,
you blow up
there.
any buildings?
I damaged one to see if it was doing anything.
Okay.
I blew up turrets, but none of the actual buildings it needed.
I think obviously it's waiting for something.
Still not able to escape these two factory screens.
Okay, Paul. Once you're back in the self-damage screen, try hitting the escape key.
Ah, there we go. Yeah, now I'm back in the lobby. I'm gonna hit.
Just exit the game and come back in, Paul, because at this point you're trying to walk you through this is not working.
Okay, I'm back. I was able to do it.
All right. Well, it's kind of in a locked situation. If you want, I can pause out and see what it's trying to wait for. I don't know what's. I really want to update the AI to GOP rather than just simply continuing with what this is, to be honest. But you know, it's like everything else. You want the better stuff involved. Well, at this point, we've gone through the motions. We've actually, but the only thing we haven't done is design a ship and actually produce it. So actually, let me do exactly that. I'm going to go into the ship builder. I am going to grab a ship.
Oh, use Kathleen's new silhouette.
That's exactly the point. I am then going to very quickly just build something, and hopefully the damn thing works. A blue beam.
I don't mean to be a pain in the neck, but could we make opening and closing the Omniball be a hotkey so that clicking on things doesn't like frustrate that?
I guess.
That would make it so much easier.
I will
Well,
make
make
it
it as an option, yes. Am I doing something wrong here? Okay, there that is. Alright, then I just, oops. I want, yep, it's all signed. Let me do save.
So
Ooh.
I have an aesthetics question while Arthur's building the ship. In the factory screen.
Alright, my design did not show up.
I just crashed trying to drag Kathleen's ship into the ship
Oh, so
builder.
you saw it.
I did.
Alright, then I'm the surfer and I don't see it.
I had to scroll for a while. It was like further back in the queue.
It's not even here. Okay, because someone else actually put her ship onto the thing so I can actually see it in the game. And I can possess it. Because I can't do it yet.
you want me to put her? Sorry,
Yes.
I wasn't focusing on what you were
Go
doing.
to the factory screen and drag the red ship onto the building queue.
Red ship.
Yeah.
I see still only the two ships.
So do I.
Oh.
Now, Paul said he saw the last one.
No, I was in the shipbuilder screen, not the factory screen. I apologize.
Alright. Okay, did it
I've
get
just
saved?
been building up our city.
Well, this is still here. I mean, I'll save it again.
Yeah, in the factory screen, I do not see any new ship options.
I see there's a bunch of things in the system. AB01, 01, 02, 00 would be that. It's here. So Matt,
I see it in the shipbuilder, so I'll
I see it in the
I'll see
shipbuilder
if I
as well.
can produce something.
Just froze.
Alright. I reloaded it. It's there.
Ooh, and
It's still
crash.
not in the listing. So Matt, as much as and there should be saved as AB, they shouldn't be set as MP, and it's definitely AB. So 001 and 002, but it's not in the listing here. So I think your algorithm that picks it up as much as you want it to be right isn't. I think we agree on that. So yeah. Well, I can always drop a builder bot down, and then we'll have another builder bot spitting out in a few seconds. Yep, there it is. Just popped up. There it goes. Whee! So technically, you can go kill the first builder bot, and then we have the second builder bot. So yeah, other than that little flaw that we can't get it to. Although, I mean, Jordan or somebody else can sit there and go crazy on the research and we actually get like better ships out.
I mean, I've been doing a little bit.
What's that?
Been doing a little bit.
Okay.
I was in the middle of telling it to build me another reactor because I decided I wanted more power.
It's not a bad idea, honestly.
And then I'm gonna finish that while that was crashed. So cool. I love how I, can tell it to do something and then crash for reasons unknown to me. And then I come back in and, it's just done the thing while I was away. So I can be like an absent father to this thing.
Gosh.
Show up now and then, go, hey, do this. Leave. It doesn't care. It just wants to make me happy.
Yeah, no. So, what are you doing that's crashing it? Because that I'm curious about. Matt, did you do what he's...
I don't know. I told it to build another reactor, and it started to wander over to do that, and then before even the light showed, I just crashed. I don't know if it's even related to anything I was doing, unfortunately.
Okay, let me go out and take a look.
So, Matt, if you tell it to build something, maybe if you crash, we can tell where it's bombing at.
Yeah, most of that's what I've been doing. I've been fucking around building buildings and occasionally crashing. Another reactor, and it started to wander over to do that, and then before.
All right, someone's got their...
Yeah, sorry about that.
I do not want to hear what I sound like.
All right. Well, Ogre and everybody else, you might as well destroy their city because obviously that's kind of frozen in place.
Okay.
Happily.
Matt, I guess we can order the builder bot to build a turret or build something like a warehouse or whatever. You do through the nav screen. That seems stable enough. I was able to do it. That's a good question. Does anybody else try it through the nav screen? Does it work for them?
It should be building another reactor at the moment.
How did you go through it? Did you go through
in this sim screen.
Okay.
It is headed over to the...
It's gathering refined materials. I figured out that's what it does now.
Yes. That's the idea. Actually, we have two builder bots. Why doesn't someone else grab the other builder bot, go through the nav screen, and see if they can get to build something?
Okay, which one's the nav screen?
That's the one that looks like a solar system or an atom or whatever.
Gotcha. Okay. I am in the nav screen. I don't know how to control anything about this.
Oh gods. So when you go to the nav screen, it'll put the camera close to where you are.
Okay, I see. I can right click and move around.
Yes, right click will scroll you around.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm ready to learn.
Yeah, this thing needs help. It needs a lot of help.
Find a builder bot. Okay, why am I going that way?
Yes, because you got to use the cursor keys and you got to use the scrollies, and it's like I said, this is not nice in here. It really isn't.
I'm more concerned with just not. Sometimes I hit a cursor key and it does not move me in the direction I'm expecting it to.
It didn't release it. It should be releasing it. It's not releasing it. It's not set right. You can use the scroller on the bottom to zoom in and zoom out.
Okay.
So
now how do I find this builder? Whoa! How do I find this builder bot?
Well, the other one just got finished from the looks of it. If it's going in a direction that you don't want it to go, hit the key of the direction you are going in. For some reason, it's setting the wrong flag that you think you're holding down the key and you're not.
No, I meant like there's a lot of blue, cubes here. I don't know how to pick out the builder bot.
You'll have to just move your cursor over them until you find it, unfortunately.
Okay.
So maybe this wasn't a great idea.
Okay. I think I see one maybe, and then I left click on it.
Yeah. I see
Okay.
them off in the distance. They were killing things.
All right, selected. Now what?
Then in the lower right, you'll see a group of icons,
Build. Okay.
and one of them should say build.
A
So-
new research center.
All right, so you click that.
You're gonna put that there. Right click to select.
Left click to click build, and left click on the menu, and then go through. And then it's right click to do the order, I believe.
Okay.
You guys want me to like build anything at all? Or
I just want to
what?
see what he does.
I believe I found the correct builder bot, and
Yeah,
it
he's
is
moving. I see him moving. He's doing his thing.
It's going to go much closer to the other buildings, basically.
Right. Yeah, right, let me get this out of here. Like I said, the nav screen needs severe help, so I'm looking at it from the nav screen, and it's like taking. I have a menu up, and I know it's not right, and it's sort of like, well, like I said, definitely has
To be
its
fair,
problems.
I said I think I found the right builder bot because I couldn't find any other one.
Oh, didn't we have another one? Oh, it's building. Oh, it's going to get resources. That's what it was going
No,
to do.
meaning like I've only found one builder bot thus far.
Yeah, I don't think we built.
The other one didn't get built?
No, you built the ship.
And I selected a different one, so there's a problem. All right, I'm going to go see whether or not if I can actually tell it to build a builder bot, because it's not actually doing that. So on my screen, I'm pulling design czar, and I'm putting on the screen. It thinks it's building it. And tell me what pops out, a builder bot or the other stupid thing? What popped out? Hello?
I don't wait for me. That's somebody else needs to look.
All right, so the other stupid thing popped out. Thank you for
I'm
answering.
approaching. I'm approaching. I'm
I'm
seeing the
having
crazy.
trouble looking at things. Also, it built the research center, so that's cool.
Yep.
I'm just fighting with the nav screen right now.
You're
Yeah,
going to
okay.
fight. It's pretty horrible in there. So
How do I
it's
get out
not
of
building what I'm selecting, Matt. I will now select it this way. All right. So what's happening, Matt, is whenever I drag something, it's actually only building what's at the top of the OG tree. So you know how it loops? If
Okay.
I have the other thing at the top, that's what it builds. If I have the builder bot at the top, now it's building the builder bot. Now I'm frozen, so I don't know who crashed.
That was me. I'm just looking at to see what it crashed on. Template.
Oop. Oh, almost crashed, but it recovered itself. That's cool.
Well, that's because he finally went. See, when he pauses out, it pauses the rest of us out.
Right.
So we should actually have a builder bot this time. Let me verify that fact before I. Yep, there it is. So there's a new bug for you. Is that whatever's the top of the list, regardless of what you drag to the queue, that's what's actually dragging to the queue. Now, whether that's
Hold on
inherent.
one second. I'm recording the research screen crash I just got.
Oh, okay. You got a research screen crash? Okay, good. I mean, not good, but you know what I mean. What was the crash?
One moment.
Oh, I do see another builder bot produced now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's computers 2 being researched. It's taking 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, it says I just set up some new research. That's why I built a second research center.
You're not wrong.
Shall I build like a factory or so?
Oops,
Or
I crashed. So, Matt, I closed the installation, and then it's blowing up in the tooltip.
Yep, that was the one I got.
Oh, well,
it's
that's nice.
actually the template OGO is null when it tries to clone the tooltip.
Yep, no, you're right there. You're 100% right. Okay, well, that server went down because I didn't realize that was going to do that.
So what was the other error that you got?
That the factory screen, when you went to go build something, it would only build what was first in the line. Meaning, you know how you have like a different designs there? whatever is at the top is what's actually being built, regardless of what you dragged over to the queue. So because it's in a loop, if I switched it so the builder bot was first, it would build builder bots. If I switched it so that the random thing from the Warmaster was there, that's what it built. Which is why I kept on dragging builder bots over and I kept on building those cheesy ships. Whereas when I went, aha, I know what's going on, and I put the builder bot first and I moved that over, and then I tried to build a builder bot again, it worked. Then I got a builder bot out.
Okay.
So
I appear to have frozen.
because the server crashed. I'm sorry.
Ah, okay.
Let me kill it. It was the same issue that you were running into, and I tripped it, and he was testing it, and so that's kind of where that one went.
Well, I was having
Destabilized.
fun putting down buildings.
Yeah, I mean, it was working. I mean, it does work. I mean, like I said, this still needs. Fortunately, we have more time to get this thing running. But that's why we're doing the multiplayer test, because it needs help. And actually, this is actually very helping a lot, because we're discovering bugs we're unaware of that we will now address. We didn't know about the factory issue. We didn't know about the research issue. There are some of the things we did know about that we didn't have time to correct. But that's why this is very, very helpful, because
I'll
we
definitely say
don't
that
know what's wrong.
using the nav screen certainly is easier, except for the fact where you're fighting where it wants you to be, where it wants your screen to be, versus where I would like to be looking.
You're right. And like I said,
But
I have not
when it
addressed
came
those
to
issues.
actually like the process of select builder bot, tell it to build it, that was so much easier than using the sim screen.
You're 100% right.
So
which is why I
that part
suggested
at
it.
least perfect.
Yes. Now, like I said, once I finally get in there full tilt and really fix it, the user experience on there will be much, much better. I just haven't. I'm happy that the ordering system is working correctly, that you were able to build a builder bot from there.
Oh, also, because
Server up, by the way.
icon still appears to be, the solar system, it took me a while to try clicking that again to get out of the nav screen.
Yes.
So for a bit, I'm like, how do I get out of here?
Yes, I know.
Until finally I tried that.
There's an inconsistency in there, and I realize it's a problem. Again, it's one of those. Yeah, there needs to be a lot of polish and cleanup with this. It's not ready for prime time. That's why everybody keeps like, "Hey, can we have a release?" I'm going cringe. It's not really ready for generic people to play with this.
But definitely, I'm happy that, like I've said a few times on these streams, that the aspect of the game that most interests me is starting to come in there, and I'm seeing how I might play with it. I'm enjoying the idea that, kind of like how we're doing, I could kind of focus on tinkering around with the city while Ogre keeps me alive.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Especially once the bee's nest goes crazy, that's what's going to happen.
Oh, but I'm so conflicted at that point.
No, you're not wrong there either.
I love you too, Ogre.
Let me grab that. Yeah, so at this point, Ogre, don't disturb the city until it starts producing ships, and then we can actually have something to go on that side.
I just bombed out.
How'd you bomb out?
I don't know. I just tried to open up the factory screen and then.
Oh well, the server quit a while ago, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we said that, man.
I know.
And then it
I know.
restabilized. I started moving again. So.
Yeah, no, once the server's gone, you're done. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Usually well, that's right. The server didn't quit; it died, and so it didn't send you "I died" thing. I really had to put some networking code saying you got disconnected and throw you back to the join screen.
So, one of the questions I wanted to ask, this is just aesthetics, but in the factory screen, overall we're going for the color theme of like fall colors, brown, orange, darker yellow.
That's the intention.
The Q backdrop is blue. So I just wanted to throw it out there. Do people want to change that?
The which backdrop?
Once you open up the queue itself for a particular factory in the factory screen. So once we build a factory, go into the factory screen.
Is that long blue thing you're talking about?
That is correct.
Want me to change that?
Well, that's the question I'm asking. What do people think of that? Do we want to change that color to match the color scheme?
Nah, because then it would look very close to the regular background, which I think was like red in the factory screen.
It's minor enough that I think the contrast makes it stand out.
Gotcha. Figured it was worth asking.
No, you're right,
what-
and we're not artists, so I can't judge. But Jordan says he likes it. What's everybody else's opinion?
Looks good.
All right, well then there's your answer. I mean, if enough people say no, it looks fine, then who would say it was wrong?
Cool.
I do agree that a contrast is needed because if it was still more brown, it would kind of blend in. You couldn't see it.
Especially if that's like the default ship color.
Yeah. Well, ships will be their own colors. Anyway.
That's true.
I'm kind of bummed that I can't fly a Kathleen ship, if you will. But it is what
Yeah,
it
what
is.
was wrong with that? Like I said, I've kind of gotten my zone of building things and tuned out a lot of that.
There's something going wrong with the design, the column that's showing the designs, which, that my bad. That was my fault.
All right. When you were in I guess the real question is, are people getting the file? Now you were saying that when you went into the shipbuilder, you were able to load it.
I think Paul said that.
Yeah, I could see Kathleen's ship in the shipbuilder.
Oh no, because you hit load and then see AB01 whatever, and actually load my ship.
Oh, that it did not even occur to me to try.
Well, let's try that. Let's try that because that will guarantee that you actually have the file. It's just a matter of your factory screen is just not seeing it for whatever reason. I think it's a good test, in my opinion.
Sounds like
Okay, no, okay, that's good. Okay, then, all right. So,
actually, wait a minute.
Yes.
We're in a multiplayer game, so
yes,
when we create ships, is it going to be creating them as ABs or
Yes.
as MPs?
as ABs.
Okay.
What is an
Because
AB?
we're doing a full-blown city kind of situation versus just out in.
AB means auto builder. MP is multiplayer. It's part of the auto-generated name for the files.
Yeah.
Adam, I accidentally clicked on your rank, so it should go ahead and reset what you wanted your character to be. Thank you.
All right, let's go. Let's go in. Actually, tell you what, Jordan, why don't you build the city?
Okay.
I will go in and I will build a ship design, and then Matt, I want to see if you can see what I designed.
Sounds like fun.
All right, so let's do that.
I love this. They say a good commander, gives orders that he knows will be obeyed, and I certainly want to do what you just said.
Well, there you go. And hopefully you'll do some more research and such because you'll need to do that anyway.
Yup.
All right, I'm just
Okay.
going to build a very, very quick ship. 'Cause
Character.
I just want to test this.
Can I queue up things to the builder bot, or if I tell it to do more things, will
No,
it just kind of
that
freak
Matt
out?
brought that up, and yeah, it's like one of those. I want to add it, it's just not there yet. Sorry.
We will
Alright.
be able to add it. We just haven't yet.
All right, well that's there.
Oh, cool. I wanted to also check something else, and it's true. Yes, if I try to go to a building that we don't have the tech for yet, it just doesn't let me.
Because that's what it's supposed to be doing. Scary enough.
I didn't know it would do that though, because when we first started to put on turrets, I was like, "Do I even have the tech for this? I have no idea. Let's try it." And I didn't know what it would do.
All right, I just built a ship, meaning a design. Could you go into shipbuilder and see if you can hit load, whether you see AB001-0001?
AB001 dash many zeros 1.
Could you hit load, please?
Okay, I see it. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Orion Mark 1s on it.
And a giant, but on the red ship.
Yes.
Sweet. That means it's ready to fly if the builder, the factory can see it. But yes. So that worked. That's great. You know how great that is?
That's good.
So if you go to click on the layout, you should see like a bunch of things all grouped together.
Which one of these buttons is layout?
Lower left. Lower
like
left.
the little architect's planner?
Yeah.
Yes, everything's grouped together in the middle of the screen.
So I move, for those who are observing, I have the observer cockpit in the far left. Then at the top I have solar fuel cells, and then going down is Orion Mark 1, Mark 1, Mark 1. They all look the same. And then the back I have a chemical engine, and below that chemical thrusters.
Yep, that's what I see.
Excellent. and it has armor of 334. And so yeah. So I mean, it's actually working the way it's supposed to. I mean, all the guns
Cool.
are probably right on top of each other, but that's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, from the view of it, all the guns are on top of each other. That's okay. It should be interesting to fire, but honestly, the way the game works, that's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? So, yeah, so that's good. That means the system's ready. Now, if I go to the
Well-
factory screen, yeah, it still does. Oh
That's an
god, it
interesting
has
question.
some
Do you
weird
see it
funky.
in the factory screen?
What's that?
That was an interesting question. Do you see it in the factory screen?
I do not. I see theirs, which is some weird staple thing.
Oh, actually, while I'm in here, that's good, because I'm also looking at the ships folder. What is the name of the ship that you see that nobody designed?
Oh, that's the AV007, because that's the Warmaster doing that.
All right, I might have
Okay.
found a new way to crash. Hate to break that up real quick.
Okay, good. Tell
So
us.
I decided to do something different. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'd like to get some of these researches done fast. So I had it build 2 factories,
Okay.
and then I think it was
2
in the
research centers, you mean?
2 research centers. Sorry, it was I think in the midway through building one of them. I'm like, all right, I would like to now assign a research.
Yeah.
And I assigned a research to each, and then just sat there at 30 seconds for a while, and then I crashed.
I have never actually done research for 2 facilities, but it's never been tested. But
Yeah.
it does acknowledge that in the research screen, there's 2 facilities here.
Oh,
is
cool.
is refinery and factory both done?
Oh, refinery and factory have not been started.
Okay, so it had a problem. Could be, it could be that one of the research centers wasn't fully built yet. It didn't know what to do with itself when one of the 2
I
research
presume you're
centers
talking
was
about the
displaying.
items, not the research. Are you talking about the research? The technology?
One research center was built.
No,
Yeah,
no,
just
no.
the research
What
was
did you
built.
drag? Did you drag from the top menu or the bottom?
The top menu, refineries
They are both
and
done.
factories.
They're both done.
Oh, they're both done?
Yeah.
Then yeah, it did it. It just I don't know why I crashed, but it did it.
Okay, so I mean,
Okay.
it's working. It's just
I'm going to try to throw something onto the research centers just to test something for
yeah.
myself.
I'll just watch. I'm sitting here on the server watching the research center. Put one there. Put one in the other one. All right. It's capacitors. It's researching. Can you see the other one? Can you put something on that one?
It should be researching in both of them because I
Alright, so,
selected the second one and then dropped it on the other one.
alright, it is not.
Okay.
The other one, from what I can tell, is just idle. But I'm paused right now. I don't know if that one's.
Yeah, I'm just looking to see what the null was that it crashed on.
Okay.
So give me one moment.
No, that's good. We're very close. I mean, if we could actually start spewing out a bunch of ships, we actually have the full game then. Meaning as far as the basis level of it.
I just froze momentarily.
Yes,
It's going to
hold on
stay
1
frozen
second.
while
I'm
Matt's
looking to
paused
go
out.
for
That's
the
just the
Okay.
nature of the beast.
Just
When he
notify.
exits or when he continues is when it will unfreeze itself.
Okay, so we're not crashing, we're just paused.
We're paused. It's well,
Very
that's
well.
like I said. That's why it's the multiplayer test. We know there's problems. We're trying to figure out what the problems are. But no, seriously, this is something we have never tried before.
Something different. I was like, you know what? Can I do this faster?
Yeah, no, thank you. Actually, this was a test that's never been tried.
Interesting. I guess I never mentioned. I did build a second research center the last time we were playing, and I did have a couple things running. So
Okay.
I never went back and checked on it later, but that's what I was thinking, that maybe I tried to do that too fast.
No, it's fine because, well, I mean, that may be true still, but I mean, technically, if the research center is not done being built yet or doesn't have the power, it won't run. So he just exits out of the game, I guess, because it's starting to go
Yes,
again.
things should be coming back.
All right, it's
Yeah,
still
I'm
only
moving
coming
again.
from one of the systems, though. What
Okay.
happens? What I'd like to see is we can research 2 independent things, Jordan.
Okay.
Once
sure.
this capacitors thing is done in a second. Okay. Try researching 2 things.
Okay, sure. We got general refinery mark whatever. Let's do that.
Yep. That'll be
Automated
done in a few
factory.
seconds. Yep. They're both running independently.
Yep, I see them both running.
That worked.
Cool.
So what crashed you was trying to have 2 things run at the same time.
Trying
Okay,
to use
well,
the secondary.
Because
Research center.
what the game allows you to do is a primary and the secondary. Now, this will probably crash it, but I want to see what happens. Jordan, since you did a computers Mark II,
Mhm. I was
You
about to
put
do maybe-
computers 2 on the second one as well, and see what happens.
Okay. It doesn't care.
It's keeping
Actually,
it in
it's going
sync.
a little faster now.
It's supposed to.
Oh, well, then it's doing what it's supposed to do.
Now, was it?
Actually,
How much
technically,
faster should it have gone? It should be. It should be significantly faster, though.
Yeah. Actually, it should be 0% faster technically.
Thank you.
No, I'm
Bastard.
serious. The way I have the tech web set up is that the basic research buildings provide zero. Whoa, total crash there. Provide zero, basically a secondary functionality.
Yeah, because you're right. Because they're completely in sync, and it didn't really change very much.
Yeah,
All right,
you
throw
use the
something on the
research
second one and
support-
see if it
support
crashes.
ones.
Other than
Okay.
computers.
Sure, materials.
Sure. It works. No
Okay,
crash. It
that's
kept
fine.
going.
They're still moving much faster. Oh wait, no, that's right. It's point something. So,
Yeah.
yeah. There we go.
No, it's running. So, thank you, Adam, for screwing us on that one. But no, but it's working. It's working, and that's a beautiful thing. I think a good test would be to get. I don't know. What is the next step up research facility? Can we get that and put that out there, and so we can get something faster?
Oh, that's not something I would know.
Is that on the computers, Adam? You would know where it is.
What's this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
it looks
under
like
computers
computers,
too. When that gets done, well, you are researching computers. Never mind.
Yeah, if you want the better version of research building, you need to go to computers 2, and then you can get the tier 1 version of the research building as well as the assistant research building. That one is weak at doing research on its own, but can provide assistance to other projects.
That's a thing. That's really a thing to test out. Well, now we're finally testing Adam's tech web because this is a thing. So he was worried about pacing and things of that nature. Now I know that Ogre's probably bored waiting for something to kill. Speaking of which, what are they doing over there?
But let me look. They've got
Looks like
turrets.
They got
They've
turrets, so you
got-
definitely got to be careful about those.
Yeah, but I think they're building the factory now. Yeah, 2 turrets. Power. There's the other 3 buildings they build before the
Probably the mining and the refinery, research center too.
the research center. That was all right.
Oh, it's still
there's-
building stuff. I see it.
Yeah, it's building the factory now.
Oh, that's a dangerous thing because once that's up, you know you're in trouble.
Well, but last time we didn't actually build anything, so
Let's see if
build a
that actually
factory?
happens. I mean, I'm
That's-
kind of
that's
curious
kinda
to
what I'm waiting
see
for.
if it starts spewing out fighters and such. I mean, it should be, but yeah.
Also, I'm noticing that the buildings, from my point of view, are just hovering in the air, and the ground is way below them.
Our buildings or their buildings?
Our buildings.
Really? Okay, I'll let me come over there and let's see that.
Mine tend to be a little bit clipped into the ground.
They should
Some
be
of the
clipped in the
buildings.
ground. That's kind of what they do.
Speaking of which, we'll have our own factory soon.
Yeah, I just hit some invisible ground. It's like I'm seeing like the underlying foundation with no real. Okay, now it's just loaded in. Yeah, now I
Yeah.
can see the actual geography.
Right. That will happen. So, yeah. You actually want to build a mine if you haven't already, because you gotta get refined materials, or else this is going to take forever. Which is kind of the point, actually.
Okay, well, I don't know what it'll do if I try to tell it to build it now. I already told it to build factory.
It will take forever. Actually, I don't know
Meaning,
what,
can I tell it to change its to do that? I change my mind.
as long as it's not actually building the building, probably.
I think it's grabbing stuff. to
It
build
is
the
grabbing
building.
stuff. It's just trying to. Okay.
So can I tell it to build mine? Do you want me to just find out?
Well, I'm crashed, or I didn't crash, but I'm paused, so that means someone crashed.
Yeah, I'm paused as well.
I'm not paused.
Okay.
I can still turn around and fire my weapons.
I am frozen. Do you see if it's me? Has anybody crashed on their end?
I'm still
I mean,
waiting.
it's not really doing much of it. It's not really doing anything right now, but I've
Yeah, my game
frozen.
just
There we
my
go.
game just
Oh,
bombed
There
out.
we go. There's a crash.
There we go.
All right. Well, I hit pause and then I hit play again, and now I'm back in. So I think someone else. Now I'm paused again, though.
Sorry, I broke to
Oh.
see where the
All right. Well, that's you then.
error was.
Oh,
It
it-
looks like
I haven't crashed out, but when it does start moving in, I told it to, I guess, stop what I was doing and build a mine. But because I didn't notice we did that last time, I have no idea what it's going to happen when it tries that.
Neither do I, actually. Technically, it should see those
Okay.
boxes and go try to use them.
It looks like BuilderBot was trying to transfer something, and
Yeah, it's building things.
the GW send was null.
Okay. That's okay. No, that's actually that's proper because it's mining, actually. All
I
right,
mean, it
just
looks like
exit
it
out
was
and come
grabbing one
back
of the
in then.
boxes.
Matt.
1 second, I'm just recording the crash.
Mm-hmm. What's happening is there are boxes. You see the boxes. When the game, so now we're back. Try to order it to it. Oh, you already did it. Where'd it go?
Well, I had ordered it to go to
Oh,
a
and it
mine.
overshot itself because that many seconds have passed. So I assume that's what that thing is over there. Yep, there it is. This is going to take a while because it takes a while. So what it does is when it doesn't have the resources and it knows there's no way of getting the resources, it goes mining itself.
Ah.
All right. And so what it does is it goes, well, I can't store it internally, even though that's not true. It will mine the ground and then put the results of the ore into a box, as you can see. When it has
Okay.
enough ore that it knows it will have enough ore to convert to refined materials, it will then stop mining and then pull the ore back out of the box it just created and create yet another box that has refined materials in it. The
Okay.
idea is that gameplay wise, someone can either blow it up or steal it or whatever else. It's supposed to be something that when you raid someone else's base, that's what you're stealing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so,
I am having trouble rejoining.
Me too.
yeah, I was wondering why it's pausing
Server
out like
okay?
crazy.
Yeah, I tried to rejoin, they just bombed out.
All right, let's not have everybody
Bombed out.
rejoin at the same time. So, Jordan, why don't you try to join?
Give me, 30 seconds.
Yeah. Now, it started to do something and then it just stopped.
So what's it doing right now?
It's just sitting there.
I had gotten
Now it's working again.
two crashes in a row on NRT, SMT, Link, GW box to budget.
Okay. Because that's what it's doing. It's actually building the builder, going back and forth between the different
And it's
boxes.
actually the Gal Resource sends the pointer to
Mhm.
number 2, which would match the original crash, which happened because the GW send box was null.
Yeah, but the send box can be null. That's what I keep on saying.
Alright, so I'm now going to try to reconnect.
Well, don't bother because he's paused, and so the whole system's
Oh.
paused out.
No, I'm not paused. I'm out.
Well, someone's pausing the game.
And crash on attempt to connect.
All right, so
Hey, Carsey, what did the builder bot eventually build?
it was starting to build new boxes and stuff like that. It hadn't actually got to the point of actually making the actual thing. It just sort of stopped because of all the pausing. It kind of got confused.
Oh. Okay, this is the one doing. I guess we can't say whether or not it would have. Because what I tried to do is because he said it'll take forever to build the factory. So I'm like, okay, I guess.
No,
I'll
no,
try
what you did worked because it stopped what it was doing. It went over to the new area and started a mine over there. It didn't go back to the boxes that it created, however.
Okay, so it was trying to build a
It
mine.
was trying to do it, but because of the pausing while it was doing it, the timers got all screwed up, and so now it's just sitting there because it doesn't know what to do with itself. I can probably order it to do it. So if you're actually able to come back in, you can probably order it yet again.
Well, at least now we know. Yes, you can stop it from doing what it's doing if you make a mistake.
You can stop it, but in the AI, there's supposed to be a way of continuing, but I don't actually have a way to tell the order to do it, which is kind of problematic.
Should I attempt to reconnect again?
Yes, please. I want to see if it
Okay.
works.
Attempting hard no.
Huh. Now, Matt, if are you out?
Yes.
Could you reconnect and see where it eats itself? Because I'm kind of curious what's causing the problem. Because usually reconnects are pretty clean. Well, hey, it's even building the damn mine now. It finally got past whatever pause it was waiting for.
Sweet.
And it's building, 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 building.
I may be banished, but my legacy lives on.
Yep.
Nope. Same spot.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be running that. Exit the game. Exit the game. Because you did it right in the middle of the thing. I thought it was done. Alright, thank you.
It crashed in the same spot, though.
It would, because it was doing the same thing. Now it shouldn't matter, because it's not doing anything. Try to come back in. I thought it was done, that's why I asked you to come back in. Yep, and they're all done. We have a general refinery. It's actually mining. It's doing its thing. I'm watching all the ore counts go up, and the power count go up, and the refinery count go up. Were you able to get in?
Okay, now I'm back in.
Alright, Jordan, try to come in.
Okay, well, this looks more promising. And I'm in. Okay, so what was the problem?
There seems to be a sync issue with while something's being built. Matt was saying that when the boxes were getting kind of corrupted or something.
Gotcha, and since that whole fiasco, technically, it was trying to build something the
It
entire
really was
time.
trying to build something. It was just getting kind of confused with itself.
Yeah, it looks like it was trying to create a building budget, but because one of the resource boxes was null, it was continually bombing on the building budget when it tried to relink everything back up.
I would almost say, honestly, as a good test, would be to build another building, exit out, come back in while it's building it. Although at this point, it'll just go to the refinery, so it won't build the boxes anymore. But the point is, the reason why I bring that up is then we can go to the log, and the log will tell you were there pointers that they couldn't figure out how to reassign, and that would tell us what's going on. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Matt?
I am struggling to get it. Give me the stupid build menu.
Probably too close to the other things. You doing it through the RTS, or you doing it through the front?
Through the front.
Okay, yeah, the front's a pain in the butt. It really.
Fuck. I only got a menu, not the build menu.
The problem
There
is
we go.
you're pointing
Build.
to the building.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
What do I want? I want another turret. Those guys have got to be coming soon. Give me another turret.
That's a good question. How are they doing over there?
I actually had still hadn't reconnected because you were having the problems before.
Oh, you should be able to reconnect. I'm sorry.
I'm doing it now. Figured if you were asking, it was safe too.
Well, I'm glad the server recovered enough that people can, to be completely honest. So.
All right. Speaking of which,
It's almost like somebody who wrote business applications at some point was involved in this.
Uh-huh.
You know, I have to deal with reconnects.
It's still building stuff over there. It still does not have a. I see research center. I see power. It's got mining. It still does not have a refinery. It does have a factory though. So it's doing everything the hard way. It can't build anything until it gets a refinery up. It must have researched the factory before it researched the refinery. Just like we had to do it, but the way it plods through the tech web is more random, unfortunately. Again, I want to really, I keep saying this, there's this new method for doing AI, and I really want to implement it, and it's so much nicer than what I have, and it's so much more expandable. Yeah. It's called GOAP, which sounds stupid, but it's goal-oriented. I don't know what the AP part stands for.
now I believe we need our own chip factory, right?
Yes, sorry, Babalooey, although we won't. Ironically, we will probably be able to build their ship designs versus our own. The way the current code is. But yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I told it to do it. I'm also
I-
got it researching stuff.
Crashed out trying to reconnect.
Really? Well, he was building, so maybe that was it. And of course, this one's building too. when it's not building, it's safe to come in because it seems to be there's a. Oh, you crash it and reconnect. Oh, did you? Or have you not reconnected again, or entered the game again?
I loaded the game, but I haven't connected again
All
yet.
right, well, then that means that try to reconnect, see if it crashes. If it does, just quit the game out, and I want to see the log. More importantly, at the bottom where it looks for, there's a thing called fill known pointers. See if there's any unknown ones that it doesn't have.
I just rejoined.
Are you in?
Yes.
Okay, then Ogre, see if you can come in. All right, so we have 2 research centers, a reactor, mine, and a refinery. We do not have a factory yet.
I told it to build the factory. It wouldn't grab
I'm
stuff.
back in.
It might be waiting. I might need more allowance, Dad.
That's a good question. Even if you don't see it on your screen, will let me give you that. That's a good
I'm
question.
back in,
We
and they
determined
have
that
ships.
we determined that I don't see it, but it certainly let you do it.
All right, yeah, you're down to.
I'm
It
back
says
in, but they have
378. Let me see if I can give him money. All right. I'm gonna click on this, say Jordan, and I'm gonna give you 1,000 RMs. Now try it.
Nope, I just crashed.
Yep.
I crashed.
Yeah.
Everybody
I
ate
crashed it.
itself?
I crashed it. Now try it.
Yeah.
Ooh. I think.
Ooh, an open.
What was that?
What are you trying to open?
I didn't open anything. I just gave him stuff.
Something tried to open a file and it went boom.
Oh, by the way, if that makes any sense, they are starting to produce ships. They're already in the air.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I started to put turrets down then.
Yeah, they're in the air.
Oh, something tried to open a file based on a network command, but I guess the cell name didn't make it over here yet.
Okay. Can people rejoin? Well, I guess people are rejoining, or people are crashing out, or
Attempting.
are you able to get in?
To the lobby, and here I am.
All right. Ogre, there are things for you to kill, I believe.
Oh yeah, I was starting to, and
Has it built its factory?
Yes,
I
and
will-
this one of them is coming right for me.
I will attempt to fend off
coming out
bogeys.
for us.
It definitely is coming right for us. Yep, it's starting to get a little busy over there. It's all
And
red
I'm
now.
stationary in the middle of it all.
What's that?
And I'm basically stationary in the middle of it all.
Yeah, oh, you're not wrong.
All right, reconnect. Attempting to reconnect now.
The good news is, I guess we can actually build what they're shooting against you. Nothing necessarily will want to fly against it, but there you go.
Ooh, okay, I crashed back out trying to connect.
Could you go to the log and tell me if there's
What's the file called?
rwmnet.log at the bottom, because that's where you crashed. There should be a thing called fill known pointers. Is it complaining about that?
No, it's error ship not found.
Really? Which
Yeah.
ship?
425429760.
Oh, it's just garbage then.
There's 2 lines.
Okay.
Netcom update ship. Netcom update pose 0. That's the lead in for both lines. Add 425429760.
That's the memory address. That's the memory address.
Cover
Yeah,
ID
that
0.
sounds like the same crash that originally got me because it was trying to open a file that the file name wasn't there.
What exactly does it mean when like the reticle changes from yellow to blue?
The
It
friend or
means the
foe's
friend or foe
boned.
code is bad.
Broken.
It's well broken. It was never.
Well, we have our own factory,
Yeah, and they're shooting at me.
so I'm hearing more turrets, please, Jordan.
Yes, you're not wrong. Now, why don't we put them on their side of the city, if you know what I mean.
I put a couple over there, but yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. One of our turrets is really doing its duty.
Well, that's kind of what they're there for. Yeah, this is just so close to taste it, you know what I mean? Can anybody else get in, or is it still crashing in the same spot? I mean, is anybody else ever able to get in, is the question, I guess.
I was able to get in. I'm fine.
Alright.
I'm fending off a hostile bogey.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I'm kind of in the same boat. Yeah,
Oh,
we'll right here. He's gone.
Problem is,
I
in
just
order to
blew
keep
him
track
up.
of, I can't really engage in the fight. In order to keep track of the builder bot, I really have to keep it targeted.
No, that's fine. We'll cover it. I'll just target things.
It took me so long to scroll through everything to target it again.
Oh,
When
I
first
just
got
jumped
back
into
in.
someone else's ship. Fuck. Sorry. Alright, that's. I gotta remember which key's what.
Adam, which technologies are going to give us better turrets?
Good question.
Let's see. Give me a second.
Wow, here they come. Da, 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 da. Whoever's up high, they're coming for you.
And crashed. I guess for note, I went into the research screen, and the moment I don't know if it's really the moment I tried to click and drag analytics facility, crash.
Can you come back in? Or is
I
it not happening?
will let you know in half a minute.
I am back in.
Excellent, sir. Is there anything left of your ship?
I can't steer, so I'm guessing not. I still got weapons, but
Oh. Well, what's your damage thing say? Oh,
okay, this is weird. My velocity is set firmly at 80, but it's not.
I popped someone's
Unless
reactor.
am I being rammed from behind?
Hey now.
I think you'd know that.
You do.
So basically, I'm pumping the ground face
Oh.
first, and my velocity, though set to 0, is 135.70.
What does your status indicator say?
That's the icon to the lower.
Yeah, the lower left of your thing. And so the monitor's the upper right, but the icon on the lower left.
Attempting rejoin.
It looks like a seatbelt with a yellow slash through it.
That's
No
what
engines.
rejoin.
No engines. Yep. That's why you can't turn. They blow your engines out.
To answer your question, Jordan, propulsion and fabrication will lead to better turrets.
So
Okay.
interestingly enough, someone's up here fighting with me. And I'm seeing them pop a lot of these staple fighters.
I'm out here. That might be me.
Yeah.
Once you get to tier 1, you can actually then get basically armored turrets, which are a little bit beefier. But you'll need to actually independently research better weapons, or else they'll just be basically, better defended turrets with the same weak weapons.
Okay.
My range. Oh, I got him.
All right. Well, we have 2 turrets
Ow.
nicely set up over here between us and them, and I'm getting a third. While it's working on that, I would like to try and do some research.
Can we actually build something for Ogre to fly?
I mean, I cannot. I don't know how to do. I didn't really get the hang of that from last time, but you probably can.
Alright, well, I'm about to die horribly because I'm getting jumped by a lot of stables.
Okay, then I will give it my best.
Where's our base?
I
That's a
assume
lot
that
of
you're the
enemies
only
up
blue
there.
guy, so I'm gonna try and shoot at them all.
Okay.
Shoot them all and let the Warmaster sort them out? What?
Do I have any like AI ship fighters to like command or?
You can build them at the factory.
Ah,
That's the whole point.
just froze though, so might have to get back on that.
Alright,
Okay,
well, I'm going to fly
so
over towards the
factory.
city so that... Alright, well, I'm frozen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what this
Is anybody
massive thing
crashed?
is, but sure, I'll toss it in.
Hello?
I tried to rejoin, and it's definitely not going well.
Well, no, because I'm paused here and I'm the server. Paul, why don't you exit out of the game and see if it's you?
Oh, there's my freeze.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Paul was the one who reported the freeze first, so he's probably the one that crashed.
Well, also, I tried to throw a design into the factory. It said Spiked Club, so I'm like, sure, that.
Yeah. Paul?
Well, I crashed, but I eliminated some of the enemy on the way out.
Yeah. Hello, Paul? You there? Alright, Paul's left the building. I suspect his machine is what caused the problem, because I'm still... The server's paused because someone's pausing the system, and until they disconnect, it will keep that way. There's not a damn thing I can do about it.
Yeah, I did just crash. Was that it, maybe?
No, because if you were actually out, it would disconnect it.
And
Everybody's paused because someone didn't disconnect still. Now someone finally disconnected. So the server's back up.
back in.
Guess what? That was me.
Yeah, which is why I
Okay.
asked you to do that.
Okay, it may have just produced a ship. I'm not certain.
Okay. Well, I am getting close to our buildings, kind of thing.
Gotta look
Ish.
around. Where'd I put that factory? Put it over. Yeah, there's something floating nearby the factory, I think.
Well,
There's
I will
It
something
doesn't seem to have
hovering
much of a
there.
model, so maybe that's not a valid ship.
It's alright, I crashed out. Let's go back in there again anyway.
Alright, let's see what we got here. The staple.
Can I rejoin?
That's the staple of doom.
I mean, if you see it, then maybe it exists.
I see it.
Oh, there you go. I produced a ship. Just for you, Ogre. Oh, frozen.
I rejoined to find my ship just like flying upside down, grinding against the floor of Mars.
Yeah, well, it does that. So we have a replacement ship for your Ogre if you want to possess it.
I'm
I'm
currently
still
frozen.
coming back into the game.
Okay.
Again.
Maybe that's why I'm frozen.
It's not a good
Oh,
ship,
and
is what they've been
crashed.
flying. So yeah, I wonder if there's other ones that can be done.
Alright, how do I switch ships once I get back in?
Probably H next viable.
Just select.
Or
um,
it might be easier, Arthur, if you can like gift the ship to him, because then he could be able to hit H for next viable, right?
You should be able to do that anyway. Hit H, and you should see a staple.
I guess it would technically be
Nope.
owned by me.
I'm still in my dead ship.
Well, I know that, but hit H to see whether or not you can select it as a target.
I see you.
The problem is, I don't think the system actually knows the difference between viable that's just AI only.
Yeah, no, I've once I got you, then I got Matt.
So
Alright,
Arthur, I told it to produce. Will it be owned by me? Because that'll make it easier for him to scroll through till he finds
I
it.
would think so, yes.
So
No,
then
you don't understand. I keep hitting H, and I only get Matt now.
No,
Right,
no.
I was-
Use the cursor. Use the colon
Next.
and the scrolly one. We never put in the ones for only friendlies, unfortunately.
And there should be I guess a staple
Okay,
ship owned. The
I
ship
found it. How
owned
do
by
I
me.
possess it?
You got it.
P.
Hit P
Yes.
for possess. Excuse me. Let's see if you actually got it. Yep, I see you moving. Are you able to fire and do everything? Yep, you're firing. Push your pausing now. So who?
I'm
Oh.
sorry, I'm currently reconnecting.
Oh, that's why it's that. Okay.
Ugh. No.
I'm sorry.
Put me back in my dead ship, you bastard! Alright, Ogre, if you want, why don't you possess my ship and I'll take it?
Because I don't want to do that to you.
I'm
Well,
sorry,
this is what they killed
I
you
just-
with.
I just grabbed the ship out of the factory screen and
I just
pulled
crashed
it,
anyway.
threw it over. Yep, I'm frozen.
Yeah, Matt,
I-
for whatever reason, the size is wrong. So when I'm on my screen, the staple ship is absolutely huge.
For which screen?
Oh, and
The
crash.
factory screen.
I've noticed that some of those old cells have problems.
Yeah.
But if Kathleen is going to take them and rewrap them, and
Well, these are just old ships anyway.
yeah, so we.
Man, I'm making builder bots. I'm not making
Ernest,
viable ships.
sitting in the chat like he thinks I won't know who he is.
Okay.
Last week's delete player has finally caught up. I guess because I keep fucking crashing out.
Attempting to rejoin.
As if I won't know who Crossing the Veil is.
Uh-huh.
I wonder.
Heard Melinda laughing in the background there.
It's a good thing. Also, Ernest, that's not how you spell my name.
Interestingly enough, I keep on building builder bots. Like I said, the factory screen needs a little bit of an overhaul, or it's weak or something.
I'm just having trouble getting in the game and staying in. I keep crashing.
Matt, are you able to come out and come in and see what the problem is, or no?
One moment, I will attempt.
Okay, so should I not reconnect right this second?
Not right this second. We want to see
Okay.
what he sees.
I'm ready, so let me know when you want me to.
Okay.
I'm already in, so we're gonna go after that staple.
Which one?
Um,
Doesn't matter. There's a joke.
yeah.
Unfortunately, Ogre, I don't know my way around the ship designer just yet.
It doesn't matter. Any design we make, it won't show up in the factory as much as we want it to.
I mean, yeah, I guess we haven't. I don't know, but we tried that last time. I don't know if we tried that in this particular server run.
Okay, I'm in. Is there anything I should do to make it crash?
Well, if you're able to get in, then no.
I mean, I keep. Alright, so should I enter?
Yeah, come on in. See what we got.
'Cause I keep entering and I'm there for a little bit and then I crash out.
Alright, we
I
might
think
just hit like max stupidity of the game, I think.
Possibly. It could also be like there's so many other things going on right now.
Well, that's what I mean. There's too much
And
going on for me to
crash on
tell.
entry attempt.
Alright. You attempted to come in, right, Jordan? And it crashed?
Yep.
Okay, what I want you to do is there is a file in that directory where the game is called rwm net.log. Can you open
Okay.
it up?
Sure.
And tell me what's at the very, very bottom.
Okay, give me a sec, because I
I've crashed.
on
Yeah, I
reflex just
froze.
reopen the game, so I have to wait for this and then I'm gonna quit it and do things.
And
bombed
it
out.
is a factory queue.
rwm.log. Net.log, text document, nothing. Probably because I probably just tried to reopen it while you were saying that.
Oh, you reopened the game?
I have rwm.log.
No, that's rwm.net.log.
Sorry, before you said that, I just reopened because that's just what I do. I crash, I immediately reopen the game.
Yeah, when you reopen the game, it wipes it.
All right, I didn't know that.
Hold on, I just crashed out. I'll
In the
take
future,
a
I'll
look.
I'll check that for you.
That's fine. Because I just want to see where it's eating itself. If it's something that we know about.
No,
then
I get it. I just didn't. I didn't actually know that was something I could access because
Yes.
I don't know nothing about this sort of thing.
No,
I
that's
just
fine.
figured
That's fine.
I just figured Ogre knows computers so he could get it.
No, it's just easy for me.
Looks like we're having a problem validating a factory queue.
Really? Shit. What's it say?
Netlog, netcom, read due process, validate fact queue, FI. Local address is there, foreign address is there, KP is 0.
That's still legit. Okay.
Carprod local 0, foreign address is there, KP -1,
Alright, -1 means it doesn't know what it is.
node count 215.
Oh shoot! That means there's 215 ships in the waiting log on the enemy system.
Oh, yep, that's a spiked club of ouch.
Yeah. Oh my god. Really?
I'm guessing.
Rejoining.
Okay, so I'm going to guess that this is actually demonstrating how many ships the AI has to build before it destroys the game.
You're not wrong. Okay, Spike Club of Ouch, believe it or not, is the staple ship, and it's not evidently making new ones. It's a single. It's a bit. Oh, I clicked the wrong one.
Alright, I will attempt to
Was
rejoin.
somebody changing the budgets
No,
in the asset screen?
I was not.
Then I'm going to guess the AI was pumping out other AI.
Yeah,
as
no,
well.
it does. It does actually. It's very prolific that way.
Well, I'm back in for now.
Yep. So yeah.
Well, that's about 2 full screens of budget changes from the AI.
Alright, maybe I should change that down. I know I've been saying that I should change the AI. I think it's going to be more and more of an issue. Alright, it is what it is. Should we exit out and come back in, come in clean? Matt, what's the possibility of you doing a quick patch so that we can actually see these ships? Even if we just say every AB, doesn't matter who it is. Their stuff and our stuff.
Yeah. Should be doable. Hold on.
Okay, then why don't we do that so we can actually like come in with real designs? Because I think that's a big deal. Alright, even if we see their designs, it's not going to matter. You know, remember how it was just like select star? Just do that.
Yeah.
Is everybody up for that?
Commented that out.
Weird note. I told, because I was just doing something. I told the builder about to build a new turret. What path is this thing taking?
You're not wrong.
It swung wide out into the crater, and now it's coming back, I guess, to the refinery. But what? What?
Hey, Arthur,
Powered by
where's your
Garmin?
ship?
It is from.
Arthur, where's your ship?
Where's my ship?
Yeah.
It's just off the city. I'm somewhat beat up, but I'm okay.
Well, no, pop into it.
I'm in it.
Okay, look at me.
I don't know where you are. Look at me,
I'm
and look
at
at
the
him.
base.
Look at me, and be happy you're not me, right?
I'm floating over our base.
Okay, I gotta find you. Found Adam. Ogre. You're back. You're nowhere near the base. You're back that way.
That might be Ogre's old ship. I think you want one that's owned
Oh.
by me.
Okay.
So
Yes.
you want
So
Jordan.
I'm looking for a staple. That's you.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's
Looking for a
little
staple, I
different.
think, named Jordan.
No, once he takes it, he owns it.
Oh,
So I
okay,
found
never
him.
All right. Now I want to show you what I complain about this ship just because it's amusing.
Okay, hold on. Let me get close to you. Do you know what's sort of screwed up? All the turrets are looking at something. I don't know if they're looking at you. All right.
Is that you right over the base?
Yeah, it's me right over the base now. I was pausing out, but. Whee! Oops, I'll probably turn off my thrusting because I can actually see you. Where'd you go? There you are.
I'm staying still. This is why I was like, ooh, this ship sucks. Ready?
Oh wow! Check those beams out.
I'm
Top
holding
and bottom.
the trigger down still.
Oh, because there's no power in it.
I'm holding the trigger down still.
Yeah, no, the early ships, the engine, the reactor has like no power, so you have enough for one sustained shot of about a second, and then you gotta sit there forever for it to recharge.
But yeah, no, the AI must have had something better because they were firing a lot more than that at me.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You have to remember, this is the only first decision, or first version of it. Actually, that's a good question. Let me see how many revisions they have. If I go into Shipbuilder, and I go into Load, we still only have the two versions. It's what I built and what they built, and there's no other difference in here.
Could it be they're deleting their old versions?
No, it's not that smart.
We're still playing, right?
Sort of.
Kind of. We're more testing things. So Matt, you're out and you're making the change?
Correct.
Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to have the building screen show all designs so that we can actually build something from the ship designer and actually fly it. Because right now it's not seeing those things, so we can't actually get it to build. Now, the other problem about building the wrong ship is still a problem, but that's separate. We might hopefully be able to work around that. And that's just spam. So when Matt's ready, I guess he'll update the executable for all of us?
Yep, I'm just testing things at the moment.
Okay. So he should be done in about a minute or so, then we'll exit out and update our
How much
executable.
power are we using, like, per turret?
If it's not firing, nothing. If it's firing, probably a lot, actually.
The one negative of the asset screen being the way it is, I have to guess at how much power I need for things.
That's such a good point. Well, we don't have the building screen up, so we can actually say how much it's draining. Although 54% of the energy is going towards the turrets, evidently. Although we have two reactors, evidently, because
I built another reactor just now because I'm like, you know what? I guess that we might be straining the limit of the one reactor.
Yeah, because it's taking a long time to power itself up.
So maybe a few more of those.
Am I doing what I think I'm doing? Because I'm just over here taking out this one base just by myself because they're all just ignoring me.
Well, I guess.
Did he just say what I thought he just said?
I think you're right. Alright. So Matt, I have a lot of, well, that's just all the messages. We have a pretty big city going on there, actually.
Thank you. Again, I am having fun doing just this.
No, I'm glad you are. I mean, we're
Okay,
going to prove it for next time. This is still very much a work in progress.
The
But we're learning a
solution
lot
is
what to
updated.
change and what to fix, so that's just very important, actually.
Oh no, I'm engineless.
Okay, the patch is up to the solution and to the debug release. If you want to throw it out to the other people, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah,
Everybody exit out of the
first
game. We're
download
gonna
it
get an
yourself.
update.
All right then.
All right.
Plus,
Server just got
by the
quit.
end of that, I certainly had us turtled.
That's a good thing. I mean, you know how much I like turtling anyway.
I know. We had like 8 turrets.
Yeah. No, that's not a bad thing. That's actually.
I was working on trying to work towards the better one, and I'm okay. Tech web visual update might be nice. Is if it pulls the text you can do up to the top, because it took me a minute to realize it wasn't doing that. I had to scroll through the red stuff to find the other white that I was able to do.
All right.
So it doesn't make things nice and like, here, you can research me now. I have to go looking for it.
You're not wrong. I think there was a reordering at one point. I'll ask Matt about that because he's does. I'm not just keep on throwing him under the bus. It's a matter of that's his screen.
I'll be right back. While waiting for you guys to do the release. I have to run the bathroom.
Okay. The local release has been updated. The what version is this? 8.9.19. I know it's something else. This is version 1924. Okay. Really, I thought it was the same one. All right. It has been updated. So people should be able to do an update and see the update. Go figure.
Are we at revision 1942?
You gotta go by the executable. You gotta go by what the version says in the log. I can't go by the other one.
Okay.
So for locally, yes, it's 1942, but that's not actually the version of the executable.
Right.
Why is it 1942? But all right, whatever. Properties. 1924. How can there be such a difference? Doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm going by like the.
I know what you're going by, but it's a matter of. Yeah, the thing I don't get is he just didn't release, but the version number was so low. It should be closer to 1942 than versus 1924. What was the other version that we had before we did the update? Does anybody remember? I guess not.
Yeah.
All right, let me do a check. Properties.
I'm back.
All right, sir. You should be able to do an update, and hopefully this has been updated and fixed and such.
Revision 27.
Okay.
Loading up the game.
He says 1924M, so I guess he didn't do the full update. Okay, that's fine.
So now, in theory, ship designs that I was about to say us, but you guys, because I still don't know what way around the ship designer should now show up in the factory screen.
Yes. And I think it's a quick test to see whether or not that's actually true.
And then in the factory screen, because that bug's still there, we have to make it so that you scroll it until the ship design you want to produce is on top.
I think so. I could be wrong. I just happen to get to work that way. I think it's going to take some trial and error, unfortunately.
I mean, the best part is that when I threw out that ship for Ogre, the staple and the builder ship were on top of each other.
Yep.
And I was just kind of like, sure, this.
So the staple was first, and therefore that's what you actually produced.
Well, I mean, like, they were overlapped.
Yeah.
I had no idea which one was on top.
Yeah, I don't know why that showed up that way. That shouldn't work that way, but what else is new? All right, server is up, believe it or not. It's going to be a quick test. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the designer, make a ship using Kathleen's new ship, the red ship, save it, and see if it shows up for you in the factory screen. Doesn't matter if we have a factory or not, it'll show up in the factory screen. We just can't build it because we don't have a factory.
You can design it at any time, right?
Yeah, so that's the test. If the answer is yes, we're further along than we were.
Sweet.
And then we can actually build something worthy of the ogre.
For when everything's, hitting the fan, though, I'm going to officially delegate ship design to Paul.
Okay.
Well, if you and Ogre are going to be blowing stuff up, and I unfortunately kept missing the particular sessions where we were doing ship design, so I really don't know my way around it. And also, I'm busy throwing turrets down and doing research.
Honestly, someone's going to have to be manning the factory, cranking out ships, and then re-signing it to people so that people who have their own fleets can say, okay, my own fleet, come kill something with me. You know, like we did with the fleet scenarios when we were in the high orbit.
How do I do a new directory for pulling the whole thing?
Just, right-click, do new directory, and then you should be able to do full checkout. Why? What happened?
Remember that error we got? We were filed like there was some cleanup that needed to be run and it couldn't.
Oh, can you just do? You can do right-click and do cleanup.
It didn't work. It's the error that I had to redo this before.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you just right-click, make an arbitrary directory name, and then you can right-click and do SVN checkout, and then hopefully it will have remember where you were last. If not, I can exit out and give you the whole big thing.
No, it's transferring.
Okay. Well, you're gonna be a little while, I think, because it's gonna pull down a gig or so. Not that I don't have a good bandwidth, but you know how this goes.
I mean, come on, it's only pulling down 5 megs a second.
While we're waiting for that, so Adam, tell me about the parts of the tech, because I'm going to be doing the research, and therefore it's my job to research responsibly. Tell me about the parts of the tech web that are going to give us weapons and tech advantage. Like, weapons advantage, let's say.
All right, 1 second.
All right, I am building a ship design real quick because I want to do that test if we can, because it's just a quick test while he loads in. All right, so I saved it. All right, so the question now is,
So,
can anybody see it in the factory screen? I can.
so beams are power and computers.
Okay.
Pulses are materials and electromagnetics, and missiles are propulsion and materials.
All right, you really
All right.
did star, didn't you?
So for better beams, that's what our turrets are going to use. I want, you said power and computers,
Yes.
and then there will be individual technologies to research on the bottom level, right?
I don't know what that means.
On the research screen, like there's the overall
gotcha.
technology, and then there's the individual module, let's call it.
Correct.
What
Power-
ship should I be looking at
power
on the
will give
factory
you-
screen?
Power will give you
The
better.
red one, but it's all screwed up.
Power by itself will give you basically better reactors.
Mhm.
Computers by itself will give you better research centers. And when you have both power and computers, that allow you to basically then research basically the tier 1 beam technologies.
Okay.
All right, Matt, are you there?
Essentially, the way I have it laid out is pretty much every major thing, every major basically ship component is a combination of 2 of the primary technologies. Every building is basically tied to just one primary technology.
Okay. So Arthur, on the factory screen, I see it looks like 3 designs. I see, I guess, the builder bot, which to me is called Dreadnought.
Yeah.
A cube called, I'm gonna guess that says Whore of Babylon.
Yeah.
And a little red ship called Eat This.
Yep.
So is that what I'm supposed to see?
Yeah, you're seeing better than I am because on my screen it's all discombobulated.
I mean,
seeing
they're
no
really
Mars.
mismatched in size, and it's hard to look at the individual thing, but it does appear to be there.
Yep, no, it is there.
And also, from what I could see of it, nice ship, Kathleen.
Yeah, actually, you should be able to click on the that paper-looking thing on the Omni Ball, and then click on the red ship, and you should see the design. Although I think I'm definitely that's not the right one. I should be able to Eat This. Make sure it's actually the title at the top is the same one you're thinking that you're clicking on. Okay, so now it is, and I think maybe that's the problem. Well, remember how we were saying that it was whatever's the first ones was actually responding?
Mm-hmm.
So, as an example, I'm scrolling through, and even though I'm clicking on the Horror Babylon, it's still saying Eat This in the display. And so it's reversing. Now it says SAR, which is the builder bot. So, yeah, Matt, we need to do something about this. So what I would suggest you do to make sure we're actually producing the fighter we think we're producing is use the thing on the design thing on the right where it actually shows you the main design in the middle. make sure when you click on whatever ship that actually showing the correct ship. If it is not, as the top thing, that's not what you're dragging, as despite what you are clicking on. So, for example, I'm trying to click on Eat This, and it's putting up the builder bot. And that's called SAR, and I know it's the wrong thing. All right, so yeah, that's probably what's going on. All right, so now I have Eat This, and so if I drag this, it probably is the one I'm trying to build, despite what it thinks I'm trying to drag. So I think that's something maybe is a workaround for the problem until this is fixed for today.
User in your channel timed out.
Oh, who was that?
I do not honestly know.
Matt.
Well, that would do it. All right.
Is there are the controls written to a file somewhere I can transfer from one directory
Yes.
to another?
GOW.config.
Lovely.
Yep, that should keep it. All right, so on one hand, yes, we can see the new designs. On the other, it's a little bit funky, but it's good enough, actually. So, okay, I'm quitting out so that the server's down again. And I'll bring the server right back up so people can join it. We will actually now actually build real new ships.
Sweet.
Ogre, would you like to fly and Eat This, which is Kathleen's brand new thing? It has 5 beam weapons on it.
Cool. Sure.
I have no idea how good the reactor is, but you can tell me.
We'll find out tonight.
And the whole thing is you can transfer into it well before you have problems like having your old ship beat up, so you can always transfer back to your other ship.
That works. I like this plan.
Yeah,
I'm happy to be
yeah.
a part of it.
So we can do better ship design and stuff like that and see what we get. Alright, server up. And after this test, after a few little bits, it's going to go on 6 o'clock, so we probably want to wrap it up for the day. But I think it was a successful test. I think people learned a lot more about the game. We definitely found some stuff we need to correct, which is not a bad thing.
I may be alone, but I don't want to stop.
Really? You're enjoying yourself then?
Yeah. Like I said again, like this is the part of the game that I think is going to be when we were one day, after it's released, playing this all together. This is my jam. I'm gonna sit there and build the city and make a house and home for everyone to come back to, just like when we played 7 days and it just built all the materials, the weapons and stuff.
We're definitely going to need a forward set of people. I mean,
User entered your channel.
Ogre and Crew's definitely got to do that, because, I mean, otherwise the city's going to get overrun.
But yeah, I enjoy, putting together the city, doing the research, trying to be... I enjoy playing a supportive role in a lot of these games.
I think that, once I give the nav screen more love, and you'll enjoy it far more in there. It's only gotten a minimal amount in there, and it's far better than what it was, but it shows you how bad it was in there. The real big thing that's changing it in there is the new control system. I can now put proper controls in there now. Now we just need nicer ways around, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
Stuff like that. And now there was suggestion, for example, to go through all your friendlies versus all the ships. That needs to be added in. That's easy to do. There's a suggestion of, okay, target the nearest friendly builder bot kind of thing. That's not doing anything. That's an idea. Honestly, the fleet battles and things of that nature is like, okay, I need to jump into a non-player possessed ship that I can go in that's still healthy. I think that's a thing now. So we'll see. So is anybody else coming in before I start the game?
Matt, did you come back?
Hold on, yes.
Okay, that's what I was kind of asking for. So stuff like that, I think, will get the quality of life on this much better. And like I said, if you look at last time, this is Far Cry better, and I expect next time will be that much more comfy in here, and it will get that much better as well. It will just, how it goes. Every 2 weeks, there's alliterations and things getting better, etc.
Yeah, I am frankly having more fun than the fleet battles.
Okay.
This is my jam.
Fair enough. And now Adam is finally getting some real testing of his tech web. Not so much this week, but I suspect next week will be much more. We can see what's happening here. All right, ready to go in. All right.
Okay, so first step, fine. I don't know why the builder bot is always labeled as belonging to Paul.
Because Paul's the Warmaster.
Ah, okay, gotcha. Okay.
And so if you were the Warmaster, it would be strictly unto you too. So there you go.
Okay, so let's start with a reactor.
Yep.
Down there, go.
Can I attack the enemy builder bot?
No,
No.
Okay.
Then we wouldn't have any fun.
that means you wouldn't have any enemies to fight. And you should know that by now, Paul. I mean, if he doesn't build a city and that doesn't start spewing out ships, what are you going to be fighting? Now,
Good point.
realistically, who wants to handle some of the research? I know Jordan does too, but my suggestion, Jordan, honestly, is do a reactor, research center, then a mine, and a refinery.
Yeah, I started to get the loop.
You know,
Which is the thing, we've restarted a few times now. Starting to be like, okay, what do I want immediately?
yeah,
It seems like one reactor will power a few buildings.
it
So I don't
will.
need another one for a little while.
Yeah, two reactors is enough to get your basic base going. But if you start adding in more turrets, you're going to want at least three reactors.
Yeah. All right. While you're building, I'm going to give you. I'll go to the research center and actually start researching refineries.
Sure, that'll give me more time to focus on this.
Yep.
Yeah, is it once we're properly in things and like they're starting to develop stuff, then I can take over doing research.
Mhm.
For now, I'm just trying to put buildings down.
Not a problem. Now, the way that things work right now, if the warehouse gets down before the mining facilities, that's where all the materials will be. If it doesn't, it'll be whatever got built first. All right, you now have a refinery,
Sweet.
and I'll get a factory researched. Now, I'm very curious what happens with getting those assist research buildings. Seeing how well that works.
We had done the research at one point, but that was a little while ago.
Yeah, and it ate itself. And
Refinery.
But, Adam had mentioned that the assistance only works at the higher tier research facilities.
Yeah, once you hit tier 1 computers, then you can start researching the assistant.
Yep.
Or the analytic research facility.
Yeah, I had done the research at one point, just never got the chance to actually throw them down.
All right, so you have factories and whatever. Do you want me to get out of here? Or do you want me to start researching something else while we're waiting?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'll put in computers too while we're waiting.
I don't want I want to say nobody else do anything. It's sort of like, well, actually, let me get the factory down, and then now would be a good time. That might be a good time for you guys to start, putting together your little fleets.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually do up the real quick design.
Factory. Where do I want that? I want that in a place that'll be easy to protect. So in the back, far away from the enemy.
Design.
There we go.
Save.
Okay, the factory is ordered.
All right, design is up. They have a funky looking spider ship coming up. We have the Thwapper.
Okay.
The Thwapper has 5 beam cannons. I hope it has enough power. Power out, 375. Power in, 1230. What does that mean, though? Does that mean the reactor's that big? That's a good question. I don't actually know what that means. Let me go into the shipbuilder and ask it. What do you mean? The reactor is putting out...
I may need more money.
Yeah, its power is 325. Actually, it's very underpowered. How much?
Can you alter that?
Power required 90. Yeah, I technically can. I can actually add another reactor on it. Let me do that. Hopefully it won't crash the system. Alright, so click on that. Click on reactors. Here's this. Fuel
So
cell
while you're working on that,
reactors.
so why does the bots kind of? I think the builder bot's like waiting to get enough refined materials to build the factory.
Yeah.
Is it because it's my allowance, or because we just don't have a whole lot because I just built like several? We just built like several buildings in a row, and we just got the refinery.
You just got the refinery.
Okay, so it's taking a little bit of time to build the factory.
Yeah. Alright, so I want this thing to spew out a lot of power, so Ogre's not complaining that he has not enough power. So I'm going to put this out here. This is going to slow it down, though. That's not too bad.
Crashed.
Really? Okay,
Yep.
that's not good. Save. Exit. Alright, is everybody crashed, or just Adam?
I seem to be okay for now.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Well, Adam, if you can rejoin, that would be appreciated.
What are they doing over there?
Which ship should I load to see this in the shipbuilder?
Saturday's the first day of summer.
Alright, someone is... There you go. Kind of.
Rejoined.
Yeah. I thought it was the Thwapper, but I didn't... Let me see, Wagner's not it. Power and power out, that definitely is not it. Man, I just really wish that...
Oh,
We
builder bot's
definitely gotta do
moving.
something about this. Okay, that's interesting. Ah! Alright, so you want the Thwapper? I don't know if I have two of them here. You have two of them, unfortunately. So, you want the second one, which has the bigger, Do I actually have a delete? No, it doesn't delete the file. So, the second Thwapper has, the mass is much bigger, by almost double, but it's got a lot of power.
And speaking of which, our factory should be done momentarily. It is building.
It's got a lot of power. You won't have to worry about it, Ogre. It's got a lot of power.
Good.
I think the next thing I'm going to do is build another reactor, build another refinery, get that going a little faster. Factory's
It's
done.
slow. It's slower than the other one. Instead of 250, it's like 177, but you're not going to run out of juice.
Factory's done, by
I'm
the
okay
way.
with that.
I don't know which is going to be... Alright.
Come on,
Sure.
give me my build menu.
Can I order the Thwap to be built?
I have done so. It's actually going to take
okay.
a full minute to kick out. That's got to be the bigger ship.
Oh, see.
Alright.
see. Go with a massive 250, right?
Yeah. You definitely want that.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, no, that's going to be big. I know that's what she said, but there you go. I don't know which one this is. You'll find out the hard way, Ogre.
Alright, so I'm working on getting another refactory, another refinery down. Reactor, another refinery down so that we can produce materials more quickly.
Alright, that's what we got here. Alright, we should get a brand new ship up pretty darn quick. I think it's already come out, didn't it? Nope, that's somebody else. Come on, Swartz. Should be out by now. I don't see it. Let me go into the... Did it come out? Oh, what was that?
I see one. It says you own it.
Yeah, I'm supposed to own it, but where is it?
Okay. I'm seeing it flying right over the. I guess it's the refinery. Is it?
Oh, I see it. I do see it. Someone's in it. Oh, were you in it?
No, I'm just coming over to leave my old ship to pick up a new one.
Alright, I'm hopping in it. I'm in it now. Oh, it is evil. Alright, what's your speed? Which one is this? Yep, this is the new one. The new one does a minute. It's slower, but it packs a wall. It's got 5 beams all concentrated in the center. It's kind of nasty, actually.
Nice.
Even with the extra power, it's still underpowered to a certain point if you just hold down the button. But it recharges very quickly. Meaning you do a full blast, it takes about 3 or 4 seconds to deplete your capacitor, but then it recharges in about 2 seconds. Which is about right. You're not supposed to be able to just, unless you really overpower it, to just hold down forever. You know what I mean? As much as you might like it to be. Alright, well, Ogre, if you want to pilot the ship, you're welcome to. Take it for a test run if you would. Alright, let me go back to my old ship. And see what you like about it. Alright?
Okay.
Alright, I'm out. So, you should be able to spot it on the radar and possess it. And tell me what you think. I can only imagine how underpowered it would have been without the power upgrade that I put into it.
Damn.
With the beams?
Yes.
Yeah, isn't that fun? That's gonna hurt something horrible. Ogre, go hurt something.
Shall I build another mine or so?
Mine and the refinery. Honestly, we might need more power depending.
I built a second reactor. There is a second refinery. It's
Yeah.
currently busy. Don't make it do things.
Yeah, Ogre, what do you think is over there safe to kill? Without screwing up.
I'll take a look.
The
I guess make sure it's done building the main city, or else it's going to get stunted.
Yeah.
Our buildabout is currently working on another research lab so that we can get through that faster.
Okay, yeah, I mean, these are the lowest end weaponry. This is like starting weapon, inky dinky stuff. That was on purpose. So, I mean, unfortunately, Ogre, despite it having 5 guns, they're 5 sucky guns because that's what you start the game with.
That's fine, though.
You know, that's just the nature of the beastie. So, yeah.
Oh, neat. So this is as it should be. Arthur, the builderbot, because, I'm asking for a lot really quickly, it's going between the 2 refineries and picking up metal, I'm just going to...
Yeah, actually,
as I assume it should.
It should, actually, yes. You're 100% right.
So yeah, it's basically alternating between them as each one gets material.
Now, should I give you materials just so it goes quicker?
Nice. And now it looks like it's going to go build its research center.
How do I make it build another mine?
You shouldn't make it do anything right now. It's busy.
Very well. I'm kind of out of the loop when it comes to the nav screen controls.
Sounds like it might be useful to have another builder bot at this point.
Yeah, you can actually. Well, you can crank one out. That shouldn't be hard to do.
And
All
Paul,
right,
go ahead.
I'm gonna blow up
Crank
a
out another
turret.
buildabout, or I'll try
What
to
was
do
that, Ogre? I'm sorry.
I'm gonna blow up another turret.
Alright, as long as it doesn't prevent it from making the factory. That's the only thing I'm concerned about.
I believe the factory's already up.
Alright, let me come Oops. Yeah, I gotta
Or
correct
it's
that
up.
bug. What's that?
Or it's being built now. What the hell is that other building?
Yeah, their factory's up. I'm flying over it.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
What factory's up? Does it have a refinery?
I tried to tell our factory to build another builderbot, but it looks like it might be a little busy right now.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I didn't have one phone customer call today.
All right, we want another mine. Someone said.
Yeah, I see.
Mine and refinery.
I see a refinery as well.
Alright, then
You
if it's got a mine, it's got a refinery, and it's got it's got power and all that, then it should be okay.
Yep,
Even if
they're
the
starting
builder bot
to
gets
pop out
stunted.
ships, actually.
What's that?
They're starting to pop out ships, I believe.
Ah, Ogre. Then something's found you. Go kill it. It's coming for you, Ogre.
I attempted to put another
Ogre.
builderbot on our queue.
Ogre, it's gonna kill you. Or not. Wow, you ate it really quickly, actually.
That was the turret, yeah.
Or I was looking at the wrong thing, actually. Let's see what you're actually doing. So, Ogre, there are ships over here. Best kill.
Okay, we have 2 mines, 2 refineries.
So tell me how it kills things.
And it looks like there's another builderbot above the factory, Paul, so have fun.
It's
Cool.
certainly tearing it up. Yeah, let's see what it's doing there.
They'll probably say owner Jordan, but whatever.
Yeah. That's what he goes.
Yeah, owner Jordan.
Have
Okay.
fun.
How do I make it do a thing? I'm so
You have to
sorry.
move over to it and kind of hit O when the menu says that there's an option to build. Then.
Oh yeah, you took out its reactor there, Ogre. Your one pass is just. One of the things that the marketing people wanted me to turn on was gravity. So what's going to happen is a lot of these things are just sort of floating in space or just going to drop to the ground.
Shall I make another turret or a building or what?
I don't know, man. I'm tossing down turrets.
What's the range on these weapons?
Not that far, about 1,000. Not very far. They're meant to be short because they're the sucky ones. So the ship you brought in was a tier 1 or tier 2 ship, whereas this is a tier 0 ship.
Yeah, I just want to know how close to get before I fired.
Your of the left 3 things, it should actually be in red, and it'll show you when they're in range.
I couldn't hear a word you just said because I was firing.
That's fine. The left 3 lines, the rightmost of the left 3, when that goes red, they're in range.
Interesting. I definitely have 2 research centers.
Did the other one finish building?
Should have.
All right, let me look in my thing here. Let's check to see what's going on with that.
Yep, and a crash.
Of course.
So I hit O and hit B to go to build, and now I select the turret, and I see the flashing
Enter.
model for it. Oh, enter. Dur.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm out of the loop with the controller.
They all say they're done being built. What was the problem? You were out of money, or what was your problem?
I couldn't see it on the research screen.
Okay, see research facility. I see 2 research facilities.
Maybe I need to drag it down. Who knows?
Shouldn't, but okay. Let me check the. God, I gotta
I
fix
don't know.
that
Maybe
bug.
that's why I crashed. Yeah.
Let me see what I have in my research. I only see the 1 here as well. I don't see 2. Even though the system says there's 2. Oh, all right. It's the same bug, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, the server just crashed. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that.
What'd you
Well,
do?
it's cloning for the second facility. We knew it was a bug. We came across it earlier.
Server's down?
Server's dead. Sorry.
Okay.
So what's
I
the bug?
apologize. The bug is that when I close the city and try to reopen it, and it tries to clone one of the tooltip texts, and the tooltip text is null, and yeah, it's a problem. So there's a real crashy bug that we gotta deal with, but not today. All right, it's 6:17. I think we got what we needed to get today. Unless other
Alrighty.
people disagree, but Jordan, it sounds like you're having fun finally, that makes me very happy.
I am having a lot of fun.
That makes me very happy. You
I
have no
do
idea.
wish the builder bot moved a little faster, or that we could have a couple of them when we started.
Design a better builder bot.
Well, yeah, and honestly, the builder bot's meant to be annoying. That actually was on purpose. That's not actually a bug. That's a feature. Because it's meant to be slow, and it's not meant to be. It's like, oh, I'm running around like crazy with this thing. So, Ogre, you got to fly one of actually the first brand new ship in a multiplayer game. How's that feel? It's brand new.
Lovely. Lovely.
So, how was the five-finger death punch there?
When it hit, it hit.
It hurt. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Does seem, based on when I was flying it very briefly, that yeah, even though I had a lot of power in it, it really needed more.
Yeah, it could probably use a little bit more power.
That's
Okay.
part of why I was trying to get another research center up. I wanted to start, wanted to have one of them allow me to go down the tree for better building stuff, and the other one I was trying to get better power options for the ships.
Yeah, better power, better weapons, and again, it's like tier 0 base. What'd you expect? It's going to be lumbering, or it's going to be whatever. It's going to be what it's going to be, and it should be. It's the first thing out of the gate. The idea is that as Jordan or whoever researches more stuff, we get better and better ships.
Yeah, and keep in mind, you can make a perfectly functional tier 0 ship. It's just going to be expensive. That's all. You can make it fast, have a lot of armor, and do a lot of damage. It's just going to require a lot of resources.
Yeah, that thing took a minute to build. It was very expensive to kick that thing out.
I think next week, not next week, next test.
Yeah.
As a late strategical note, we should probably kick out an extra couple builder bots before we start kicking out the death ships.
Probably, but I wanted the ogre to have something to play with. I think
Yeah,
that was good that he did.
I think we didn't know how long it was going to take to build those ships.
We didn't. I had no idea.
And
This is our
even
first.
then, I don't necessarily know if what I was seeing when I saw that looked like it still had another ship queued up when I wanted to build a builder bot. I don't even know if that was accurate. Because it looked like it built the builder bot shortly after I put that in.
Matt and I are going to concentrate on cleaning up a lot of this stuff for the next time, so that we're not fighting the system as much. Now, I'm not saying the nav screen is going to be redone because it's not. But I mean, stuff with the other screens. Hopefully, Matt and I can fix those up and get that all nice and clean. So we're not fighting those kind of problems. I will say again, congratulations over for firing our first ship in that was actually created in game as well as using it in the heat of battle.
Yes.
So that was rather impressive. I'm also glad you got the better of the two ships because you would have been very unhappy with the original design that it all generated. What I did was I kept it and I just put on another reactor twice as big. So even if they shot you and killed one of your reactors, you still have the other one.
That's good.
But it was much bigger and it made you much heavier and and it was an expensive ship. Like I said, it took about a minute to build out. And so that should be
what influences that? Like, if I had built more mines and refineries, would that timer have gone down?
No. You would have to have researched a better factory that had a factory.
Gotcha.
Build
Which
rate.
is better, an extra mine, or I mean, obviously you want as many as possible of each, but which is better, another mine or another refinery?
You have to do both because they're kind of paired off. He purposely misbalanced them because that's what we do in logistics games. But realistically, if you do a mine without the refinery's not going to refine anything more. As it is, it's the refinery's refining all that it can.
Okay, so the refinery is matched to match the rate of one mine.
It is, at least in T0. Evidently, it's ever so slightly slower. Adam can confirm that one way or the other, but it seems to be that way.
Basic standard mines and standard refineries should basically match each other's rate.
All right, there's your answer.
There are other options you can get at higher tech levels that have different rates, though.
Yeah.
Right. So if I have, and so then the reality becomes if I have, higher level refineries, I might want more mines than refineries at that stage.
Yeah. So I mean, that's going to be its own balancing. Right now, they're 1 for 1.
So well, eventually, if we could have gotten there without crashing, I would have built something better.
No. I expect that the next couple tests that will really more and more come into play. That the balancing of Adam's tech web will really start to come out. And that's actually what Adam's been craving for years. I'm not kidding. That to actually see this in action, and it's finally happening. And actually seeing, how it plays out, what should we tweak, and as we go through it, honestly, I'm sure he wants to hear your critiquing about it because we want to know that. What is too slow, what is too fast, what is good, what is bad, that kind of thing. As I'm going to have to add load save so we don't have to keep them starting from scratch, for example. So we'll just continue as we left off. That's going to be a big thing for this. That's the last major thing to put in. And once that's done, we really have a multiplayer game running. Yes, it's got problems, but as you can see, each 2 weeks it's changing, it's updating, it's becoming better.
Is the build speed part of the tech web, or is it independent of buildings?
Of the buildings, it's part of the tech web because the builder beam has a certain spec to it. There is a multiplier in the configuration, so that can always get changed.
But in order to get a better beam, we'd have to build another bot, right?
Yes. Or redesign it.
My advice would be, because we're talking about this, we're going through telling people stuff. If you start a game by yourself, you're going to be real bored for the first 10 minutes.
Yes and no, because what's supposed to be happening is you see how quickly the reactor came up, and then how quickly the research center came up. Everything else was slower, Because once you get the reactor up in the research center, you're going to be spending a lot of time in the research screen, getting stuff out, getting your refinery up, getting your factory up, that kind of thing. And so you should be coming in and out of that screen, telling the builder about what to do next. We should have sound cues saying, building complete, and so you'll be going back and forth between that, and that's what you weren't seeing. So if you were playing single player, you'd be doing that, so you wouldn't be bored.
Yeah. There's also going to be a lot more basically events and things to basically happening around you once the game is a little more fleshed out in terms of basically being dynamic. So it won't be so kind of basically like cut and dry.
Yeah,
I'm really just talking about the base level buildings. I'm not talking about like, oh hey, factory upgrade. That should take a while, but like it's the base level stuff to get everything going.
believe it or not, bouncing back and forth with the research screen and getting the builder bot to do what it does, trust me, you'll have plenty. When you see that on the live stream and stuff like that, or when you actually do it yourself, you'll understand that it's a lot more obvious. Obviously, sitting there waiting for the city to be built, yes, it looks boring.
Like to put in the perspective, I was definitely busy constantly.
Yeah.
There were periods where I was waiting for the builder bot. Part of that is, I think, perhaps Adam, a little less than 5 minutes for the next tier of tech. It seemed like we went from like 30 seconds for the very first things you're researching. Cool. And then the next thing is like 5 minutes. Like, welp.
Well, you should be doing other things then. Meaning, I was researching some of the stuff while you were still building the city. So some stuff you would normally be doing, I was.
Okay. So there was
The
another
other part of that was you should start be kicking out, both turrets as well as fighters.
I can't kick out turrets when I only have the one bot at that point.
But you know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
So you be actually, starting to kick out another builder bot, more fighters, and doing the design on the fighters. You have to design the fighter. Right now, you won't have the enemy's design, which is what happens right now. You'd actually have to go into the builder screen and actually design something.
I'm gonna disconnect right now, guys. Dinner's ready on my end, so
No
I'll be logging off. Thanks again for another good multiplayer.
No problem, Paul. Thank you for your
Yeah.
help, and we'll see you later.
Yep.
Also to keep in mind is basically that if you're researching tier 1
User
technology
disconnected from your channel.
Tier 1 technology with a tier 0 building, it takes 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Once you get up to tier 1 technology, it takes half that, 2.5 minutes. And then once you start adding in the analytics facilities, then it starts cutting down even more. So once you basically get tier 1 like fully going, then it becomes much quicker per research. But yeah, if you just go basically straight for tier 2, it is going to take you a little bit longer, and that's intentional.
Okay.
The other thing is, one thing to keep in mind with this is not really meant to be like a play of a normal RTS game, in the sense that you resolve the game in about 2 hours or less, or an hour. Whereas if you have a very quick resolution of those different, and think about like how it was in Warzone, where you had, it took us hours to get through all that, and we had all these people researching. It's meant to be like that. It's meant to take a while to get through it, because it's not meant to be the game's done in a couple hours. Even with multiplayer, you're supposed to be tier 0 through tier 1, maybe 2 is like the first 2 guys you're fighting, and then it's supposed to be the rest of the planet, and then you have tier 3 and 4, and then it's supposed to go to the moon, that kind of thing. I know we haven't set the delineations, but you get the idea.
Well, yeah, that's right. It's supposed to be more of a 4x length, where you don't do this in one session.
Right. A full game might be 20, 30 hours. Rather than 2 or 1. Right now we have the first scenario, which is we have an enemy. Realistically, we should have 2 enemies because they're human, but maybe that's imbalanced right now. If we have 2 against 1, we will find out pretty quickly.
I mean, if they're fighting exclusively the player, that probably would be. But if they're also fighting each other, then that'll probably be fine.
Yeah, in the single player they fight each other, as well as you, as the player. In multiplayer, again, it's getting more interesting. I think we need some more testing with like transferring stuff back and forth, getting that stuff synced up, etc. But it does work, at least on the server end. But there's some issues there. But did you understand the budgeting issue? Why that was there?
It wasn't certain at times if it was moving slowly because you needed to allocate me more money, or just because the refiners hadn't produced it yet.
Well, you go in the asset screen, you can find out.
Well, I can't find out, though, because on my end it doesn't display it.
Yes, on your end it's not synced up correctly. You're right. Once that's fixed, then it will be. But The reason why the budgets are there is you don't get up with a griefer who just like sucks up all the resources of your empire, just because they're just being wasteful.
So then, in the budget, like, does
Mhm.
it basically produces some amount of stuff, and then it divides it evenly amongst all of us into our budgets?
No, it each person has a budget that's set by the Warmaster
Hmm?
as a percentage of the whole. So initially, if the
Okay.
Warmaster does nothing, everybody gets even amounts, including the Warmaster.
Right. Okay. So by the default, every amount that it produced I was getting an even share of that to
That's
go
correct.
towards projects that I designated.
Exactly. And so, as the Warmaster, if I sit there and go, well, I'm just going to sit back and design and order people around, I might set mine to 0 so I get no money, and then everybody gets my share. Or I can say, you know what, Jordan's building the city. It's more important that he has a higher rate, and so I increase your budgeting rate, and everybody else's goes down as far as percentages go.
Because then that's the other part of the build speed that Ogre was talking about.
Mhm.
A lot of time was spent waiting for my budget to come up.
Right. And maybe at early game, we all redonate to you, or as the Warmaster, Paul, who was the Warmaster, should have said, no, have Jordan get all the budget until the city's functional, then it would pull him back down to normal points.
Right.
Actually, that's the thing, Matt. We should have a button to auto rebalance. Now that I think about it,
Auto rebalance.
the budgets.
Or there should be a way to actually put a bunch of presets you can toggle through for the balancing,
Mhm.
so you can make quick changes like that on the fly.
Probably, maybe put it in the Warmaster bar or something like that, or put it on the Omniball, depending. The idea being that if you want, I did Crank, because he's going to be the mayor. All right, we got to get the mayor to have everything right now because we got to finish out the city. We crank him up to 100%, so he gets all the stuff. But then once the city's up and running, minimally, you don't have to quickly go, oh, I got 5 people playing, I got to manually each do one at a time. You probably just want to do, okay, rebalance everybody at equal, and then I can tweak it from there. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
And it
Yeah.
shouldn't be hard. I mean, there's already a code to do it. It's just you gotta have a button hooked up to it. That's all. I think that would balance it out to make it nicer gameplay flow. So like I said, everybody has their duties. The Warmaster has to deal with the budgets and the logistics of it. The mayor is supposed to be dealing with building the city. Technically, the Warmaster can also be doing the research, but someone else can do that, as you've seen. Once the factory's up and starts cranking out ships, then you have the admirals going, I need a fleet here. I'm going to go kick some butt over there because it's needed. And maybe you have someone who does local fleet defense. Then you have someone who goes, well, I want a whole other city, so they're going to make their own builder bot, make an escort, and they fly 50 miles away and drops there and starts building a brand new city because they want to have a brand new city in different location, maybe an outpost or who knows. That's the point. That's the 4X aspect of the game where it's sort of like you're not just having a city, you start to spread. You know. Um, Now the enemy War Master doesn't know how to do that yet. I started to write that code a long time ago and it never went anywhere. I mean, I didn't finish it. At
Well,
this
it's
point,
also, at this point, one point on the map is still the same as any other.
it is. It is. It's just distance issues. I mean, that will change when Adam's different randomly generated scenarios show up. If you know what I mean, that will change things. There's also certain things he wants you to find when you go exploring. That will be very valuable. That will also change. Now, the initial guy that you're fighting, meaning this guy, he's meant to be like the tier 0, get your teeth kind of sharpened on. The idea is that once he's dead, you will end up having to like explore the planet to find everybody else. Which means because it's a planet, you have to build a whole bunch of probes. And to do that. And so then during that process, you find those random scenarios. You find ruins, crashed spaceships, whatever scenarios we come up with, including the enemy, or people to help, as the case may be. And that's the point. All that isn't in the game yet. It's just the scripting's there. The concepts are there, but they're not coded yet, if that makes sense. But that's the next stage. We're just trying to get the base level stuff going, as you can tell. And once that is, then the other stuff will start coming into the game. That will depend on what is there before the crowdfunding happens. And so, in the end, that's what's most important, is how do we entice people to want to go, hey, this is where it is now, this is where we want to be, how can we get them really into it? to show there's more than just this part of it. Like I said, this is very early alpha. It's out of pre-alpha. It was out of pre-alpha in March, but March is not that many months ago. So
Yeah.
the main game loop is there. Hence why we're playing it as such. And now the main game loop is in the multiplayer, which is very impressive to me. You have no idea how much that means to me, actually. It also means a lot that you're having fun with it. And so, all the quality of life stuff that you want, bring up, because we can add it. That's the point. We don't know. A lot of bugs that you're seeing in the system, we didn't know were there because we never hit them. And now that we know, we have a list that we're going to take care of and hopefully be able to test it and then go from there. And that's the idea. That's why these are multiplayer tests, because then we can actually see what's going on with it.
Right.
I still think this is far more successful than saying, here, the game is runnable, play it in single player and tell me what you get back. No one has time for that. But everybody always has time for, hey, we're going to get together and do wacky stuff together. We have a lot more fun with it and we find stuff. And so to me, that's more valuable.
And that, unfortunately, is why I don't know the ship designer yet, because I kept meaning to find the time to go in the single by myself and figure it out, but it's just like I'm busy.
Yeah, and I remember when I released this in single player, and I got 1 or 2 responses back from like 8 people, and that's with that. And so I'm well aware that people have a lot more fun than they do with the multiplayer, and now we're seeing more and more of the real game in the multiplayer, and that is really, really great, actually. So I'm very proud of that fact. I know the marketing people wanted these live streams to be much shorter versus 3 hours, but these things take this much time, and they just seem to. This is not something that gets resolved in a day. Once we get to the point where, we really can't test anymore, we've done what we can. It's like 2.5 hours in.
Right. To be fair, we played for 2.5 hours, and then we're just discussing the roadmap, I guess, really.
Yeah, meaning I'm getting your feedback, which is extremely important, which is the whole point of all this. I want to hear what you liked, what you didn't like, what grabbed you about the game, what you wish wasn't there, that kind of stuff. So any feedback is good feedback. It's not, well, I don't want to offend Arthur. No, please offend me. I mean, the only way we're going to have a better game is if we know what people really think about things.
Well, I had lots of fun, but much like with Paul, it is dinner time.
It is. I guess I'll see everybody at that fest, so to speak. Ogre, do you have any comments based on what little you got to play with it?
No, just what I said. Like, speeding up might actually be helpful, but also depends. So.
Mm-hmm. Certainly the multiplayer situation is a little bit different, but I understand that.
I think next time when we screw with the budget, it probably will speed up.
I agree. It was there. I did demonstrate it, but I didn't do much with it. I didn't even think about it. You're right. I think a lot of the game is like, I just remember I actually had to play the game. I designed it in. I forgot all about that part. I should have probably upped his budget. Stuff like that. That might be a command decision to do. But Paul was the Warmaster, so it wouldn't have helped me to do it anyway. You can move your own stuff. I'm not sure if there's permissions there or not, so you can't move other people's stuff. I think it is. I think the Warmaster can move anybody's.
You were gifting from your accounts.
Yes, it was different from my account. I didn't try to grab it from somebody else because I thought that would be rude. But I didn't actually try to know if it could happen. Matt, is there something in there to prevent that?
I'm sorry, which?
In the asset screen, is there something to prevent me from grabbing, let's say, I don't know, Adam's money and giving it to Jordan, even though I'm not the Warmaster?
I'd have to go check.
Okay, we should probably
But
put into something like that. If you know what I mean. And then maybe that's the thing. You have the Warmaster that does have that level of control. Maybe the Admiral has a certain tier level of control. I mean, that's what I mean. It's permission based. So we'll have to see how that one's going to work.
Right.
And we'll work that out through this and see, okay, now we're going to be idiots to each other. Let's see what we can do to each other, Just like you were deleting
Ernest.
Exactly.
I don't think anybody tried to do that, but you can't do that anymore. I put a stop to that.
Oh, okay.
That's fine.
Well,
Ernest wasn't here.
Yeah,
If somebody tried to do it, we only fingers would have stopped put to it. We might get a surprise later on.
that's true too. But the question is, should the Warmaster still be able to space somebody? Yeah. So it's one of those things that to figure out. But
Well, currently no, but absolutely. Well, no, seriously. Remember, we had a plan for that.
yeah, we did have a plan for that.
I don't want to say it because I think it would make a fun surprise.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But remember, we had a plan for that.
I'll see you guys tonight then.
All right, see you tonight. Yeah, well, we should
See you
cut this. So I'm gonna kill the stream. Kill the stream.
User
Kill the
disconnected
stream.
from your channel.
Does anybody else have any other comments before I kill the stream?
I don't think so.
No.
All right, then I'm gonna kill it. Hold on, let me kill the live stream.
Kill it with fire.